You do it every day.
The Fan Upstate.
That's my creepy Halloween laugh. Happy Halloween, everybody! Welcome in. The Rob Brown Show is on the radio. This is the Fan Upstate. What's happening, y'all? Happy Monday! Happy Halloween! Let's get it, shall we? Let's have a little fun on a Monday. It's spooky season. I know that everybody listening is a fan of fun. So we're all dressed up in costume today. Of course, I have decided today, Lonzo, I have decided today to come as the world's greatest radio producer. And I got to tell you, I kind of feel like I nailed it, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like I nailed it. It's a very good look. I feel very good about this. I feel like we're in a good place. And I want to know, how is it that you walk around with this much power and don't take advantage of it more often?
See, here's the problem with your choice of hair color is it's a little too Dolly and not enough Lonzo.
I could not figure out last night how to dye a wig in time. Outside of that, man, like, you know, the world's greatest radio producer is now here twice, and it's a.
I disagree. I don't think I look like Meatloaf, but the other thing, Kevin, I agree with you there.
Would you like to explain to the folks on the stream exactly who you are?
I'm a Nord from Skyrim,
a barbarian, a Nord / his D&D character.
I am also considering, the fact that this sword really, 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 really has reach.
It really does. And for the record, I walked in and Lonzo was like, well, I kind of take that personally. This is a compliment, sir.
Is it?
Yeah, this is a compliment.
I don't know. Tune in on the stream. Is it a compliment or is it a diss? I don't know.
It's absolutely.
And by the way, he doesn't look like me. He looks like a fabulous Freebird, and he can say that he's dressed up as me, but he's a fabulous Freebird. I think we all know that.
Last night I was so yesterday. You know what the hardest part to find was, though? The hardest part to find was the round glasses, right? Zoe's got a pair of really dope John Lennon round glasses. And the lady friend and I yesterday on NFL Sunday had hit like 4 different shops before I was able to find the round glasses. And I was going to pop the lenses out because Lonzo's got round glasses, but there's reading glasses. I can't get the damn lenses out of these glasses. So I gotta go beach Lonzo.
I also have 2 pairs of sunglasses that are rounder than those.
That's what I thought.
And they're purple.
That's what I thought.
Because purple's for royalty.
Correct. I couldn't find, so I had to go with the closest. There's James with the correct comment. Last night we got back to the house. I'm watching Sunday Night Football, and I'm like, all right, let me put this whole thing together, make sure that it's going to work. And I put on the wig, and I put on the glasses, and I went in the bathroom and looked, and I'm like, damn, I'm Michael P.S. Hayes right now. I am absolutely, after this is over, when we leave, if I wanted to costume change, I could just put on a pair of tights and become a stereotypical 1980s WWF wrestler.
You could walk downtown and no one would notice.
That might be true.
Dress that way. You can walk downtown. Although you are wearing a fan T-shirt, that might be a problem. But if you were just wearing like a Zeppelin T-shirt or something, you'd be good. The fact that the beard doesn't match the wig makes it look even more like Michael Hayes, for sure.
I look like my Thunderbird is parked in the parking lot. Like my Camaro is parked out.
Your El Camino.
Yeah, it might be raining, but I got that daggum T-top open, boys. Why?
You sound like you should be down the hall. I apologize. I had a full beard Saturday, but I finally got to shave it off. And I was wearing war paint Saturday too, which made it look more like the Skyrim character, but it was affecting my eyes. So I couldn't use it again.
How do you put up with this every day?
Do you see it around my face?
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, but if you put it back there, you're gonna lose your wig.
Somebody about to get their wig split.
Uh-oh. You should have just went with a weave. Your hair's long enough. You could have got some weave action going on.
Probably could have.
How much? I don't know how much a weave costs, but
anyway.
Stop it, Kevin.
Happy.
I would do anything for you, Kevin, but I won't do that. Okay. I won't
Kev
do
popped
that.
in and said Lonzo looks like Meatloaf. And said that Rob looks like
I'm gonna be sweating like Meatloaf here in another 10 minutes.
A bearded, no-breasted Dolly. I don't know. I'm working on it. Couple more cherry pies. I might get there. Welcome in, y'all. It's going to be a fun show today, unless you're a South Carolina Gamecock fan.
Unlike other shows, we actually dressed up on Halloween. I just want to point that out. I mean, other shows like dressed up Friday and pick different days because they want to dress up on the actual date. I don't get that.
I understand everybody did it last Friday, and I'm like, do you people not work Monday? Are you just all off on Monday?
No, they're here.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they're
That's
here.
what I thought. Not us. We show up, we roll out. There's another Robert Brown on the stream.
Okay, because I thought that was kind of weird.
It's
me. like, okay, is that you? How are you doing that?
Me. Oh, we changed it from boo to boom. So much hair. Yeah. Ladies, like on an ordinary day, this show is the show with the best hair in the upstate. Today, it's just next level, man. Oh,
I'm sure another show will decide that that's just too childish and they can't have fun.
That's all right. They're lost.
No fun.
They're lost. I did go show Captain America Chris Evans down the hall, and he said that I make the second best Lonzo in the building. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I appreciate that, Chris.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, busy show on the day, and we got a lot to get into. Last week was an amazing week for football teams that have the word Carolina in their name. This week, not so much, because the Panthers screwed the pooch not once but twice in their ability to win the football game and take sole control of the NFC South. Instead, everybody is 3-5 except Carolina, who falls to 2-6. It went from 2 weeks ago, Lonzo, let's tank, to the next week, oh my goodness, if we win this game, we are the NFC South divisional leaders, to OMG, let's tank. In the matter of 9 days. It flipped from tank to peak to tank again.
Well, it's all right.
We're not counting that. It's
no, count it. It's okay. I don't think they're tanking on purpose. unless someone got paid some extra money to take their helmet off, which you never know.
You never know. DJ, what is you doing, baby? DJ, leave the cap on, dude. Leave the lid on. There's time on the clock. Leave the lid on. Like it's one of those rules that I think is really dumb, right? It's one of those rules that I think is really dumb, and I don't like the penalty for it. But on the flip side, as we said with so many other things, my dude, the rules are the rules, and you know them. Follow them, right? We can absolutely go and make a big stink this weekend that it's a dumb rule and we should change it this weekend, this offseason, and make a push that we should change it. But DJ, you got to know the rule. You got to know the spot, my man. You got to know the rule. You got to know the spot that you're in right there. Leave the helmet on, go to the sideline, and then sling that thing around and beat it like it owes you money. But until then, my goodness. Steven said, hey, I wish the Panthers had a running back that could throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, and run in a touchdown. Oh, wait.
Nah, there's no running back out there like that. That guy does not exist.
For the record, the Panthers had not one but two different field goals that would have ended the football game. A 48-yard extra point, which Eddie Pinheiro pushed just left. And then after the defense pulled out the INT and OT that set the Cats up for a game winner in close range, a shorter than 48-yard field goal gets pushed left again. I was watching that game with a couple of friends who are Falcons fans. And one of them goes, man, he is going to have some tough conversations tomorrow. I was like, yeah, getting fired usually is a tough conversation.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't been fired yet.
You can't. Who else is there, right? Like, who else is out there? Pinheiro's got some success in the league. Who else out there can you bring?
And Pinheiro is a replacement kicker because the kicker
Zane
got
down.
Yeah, he got hurt at the beginning of the year.
Because Zane went down. So you've already got a replacement kicker in the fold. Who do you bring in to replace the replacement kicker? There's really not anybody out there right now that you can bring in. I might make it through the show, Lonzo.
I
might make it through the show.
You're not. So I don't want to say it's fortitude. I just want to say it's adjustment to heat because it's a little warm.
And I look hot.
Well, there's that.
And by the way, before we get too deep into that, because we're obviously going to talk some Carolina Panther football on the show. We're going to talk some Carolina Gamecock football on the show. Texter said the Gamecocks dressed up last Friday as a top 25 team. Then Saturday happened. That was, I'll say this. I am not saying this. I heard another Gamecock fan say after that game, classic Carolina football. Classic Carolina football. You convince everybody you're there. You've turned the corner. You've made it to the next step on the ladder. And then you just fall off nose first onto the ground. Yeah, that was kind of rough. Not because they went out there and lost the game, but they got friggin' beat by Mizzou, right? It wasn't like with Carolina where it's like, all the team did really well and the kicker just came up and botched one. Nope. You just got your rear ends beat up and down the field. Up and down the field. Spence looked bad.
I was going to say, I watched it this morning. So while I was on the treadmill and I'm trying to think, okay, at first I want to blame Spencer. No.
Nope.
I mean, I can blame him
you can
for
put
some of
blame
it
on him.
Then I want to blame the offensive line, which I think you could blame more than anybody, the offensive line. They don't want to blame the defense, although they were tired because Rattler couldn't get things done. So I'm going to blame Marshawn Lloyd for getting hurt. There we go. That's the problem. He got hurt. He is the team right now, and they didn't know what to do without him.
Things are not great in Columbia right now after that L. Things are not great in Columbia after that L right now. It's bad. And we should talk about it. Jaheim Bell, the Gamecocks ran 53 plays, right? The Gamecocks ran 53 plays. Of those 53 plays, 40% of them had a negative or neutral outcome. There were 8 negative yardage plays, 10 incomplete passes, 4 sacks, 1 pick, 1 fumble. I'm really bad at math, but that's 24 of 53 plays were neutral or negative. That's not good enough.
It also looked like Rattler only looked at one guy to throw the ball to, and that was the guy he brought with him.
I am glad you said that.
Yeah,
Lonzo.
it's just I'm watching this morning. I'm like, are there no other receivers on the field? I mean, he caught the ball quite a bit, but he looked like he was the only target out there.
In the roster of sound this AM, and I forget which one it is, but it's Shane Beamer being asked about screenplays. Do you see one that would context clue you? That's the one I'm talking about.
Well, I got to go back into it because I looked earlier and there was nothing in there, even though I saw you recording stuff. It was weird.
Okay. Well, if it's in there, we'll play it. If not, I'll just tell you what happened. Shane, in the post-game presser, which was, shall we say, frustrating to watch. Frustrating to watch. Was asked about screenplays. I'm assuming that means we got it. Listen to this answer real quick, and then let's talk about it. Here's what Shane said when he got asked. Well, I think the question's in there. Let's just play the whole clip.
All right. I need to know which cut, please.
I would have to come around because I forgot which number it is.
All right. It's
There's one that should say answers about.
I got
screens.
it. I got it.
Perfect.
I got it.
Play that one for me.
There was a stretch, I think it was in the late third quarter, you guys went a little screen heavy. Is that just sort of trying to counter the pressures that they were kind of throwing at you? And when those weren't working, was that them kind of
They
guessing?
weren't screens. I think we called one or two screens that popped out of there. A couple of them were runs that were RPO type plays where we should have kicked the ball out of there. We ran a screen to Juju to start the 2-minute. We ran a couple true screens on the perimeter to I think it was Juice or Leggett one. They were bringing some pressure and thought they were good calls. And then a lot of the balls that were out there on the perimeter were some runs that Spencer just didn't hand it off and threw it out there to the receivers. It's hard to say just without watching the tape. I'll let you know tomorrow on the teleconference. We didn't, thought we did okay blocking it for the most part. But I'll have to look at it.
They weren't screens, he says, about the screen-heavy Carolina offense. They were RPOs where Spencer didn't hand it off. Then it's a screen, Shane!
He said they weren't screens, but then he said they were screens.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got that too?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Saturday's presser.
They weren't screens, but then he talked about 3 to 4 screens.
They were RPOs where if Spencer Rattler decides not to hand it to the running back, then he throws it laterally to the wide receiver who has another wide receiver and lineman out there blocking for him. That's a screen. That's a screen-heavy offense. Saturday, and listen, if they win this game 21-20, we're not talking about this. We're not. But they lost it badly. They lost it. So we're going to. Saturday was the very first time, probably since he showed up, that I listened to Shane Beamer and was like, nah. He sounds out of his depth right now.
So his press conference, just the little bits that I've heard while you were recording and just playing that clip, he sounds like how that team played.
Yeah.
They believed their own press clippings.
Yep.
And they didn't come out and they had no fire. They had nothing.
Yep.
And it was an embarrassing showing. And they should have been able to beat this team.
Yep. Agreed.
And learn how to tackle a quarterback.
And by the way,
that quarterback's running all over you.
Yeah. By the way, you talk about the offensive line, which is fair. They were not good. Second, Missouri's quarterback had about the same amount of time that South Carolina or that Spencer Rattler had to get rid of the football. He was getting it done, right? I think first and foremost, we can go ahead and label the Spencer Rattler experiment failed now, right? Did that game sell you on that like it did me?
Yeah. Who is this guy? I mean, if you recall, every Friday when we talk about the Gamecocks, I keep saying I am not sure about, when you don't have tissue, I guess you go for the toilet paper. That's how that works.
I just recognize there's just a roll of toilet paper sitting right by my mic.
Somehow it fits with what you're wearing. I don't know why. But Spencer Rattler, he's not doing anything that Luke Doty couldn't do. That's
I think
the
he
thing.
might be doing less than Luke Doty could do.
And he has no idea how to slide. That fumble that he had was ridiculous. If he slid, he wouldn't have fumbled. He looks like when you go see this movie that's really, really hyped up and everyone's excited about it, and you go in and you come out and go, that was not what I was told that was going to be. That's what he looks like. He's not what we were told he was going to be. All the excitement, all the hoopla, everything around him coming. And what we're seeing is the guy who got benched at his old team.
Yeah.
And probably should be benched here.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. Let's come back. Let's finish that up. I think after this game, with all due respect to the kid, because I was pulling for him, I think we can go ahead and label the Spencer Rattler experiment a failure. I think we can put that one to bed. I think it's time to go to Luke Doty and see what he does, right? I don't think Luke Doty at his worst is going to be any worse than what we've gotten out of Spencer Rattler at this point. And you at least know that Doty is dyed in the wool, garnet and black, right? Give it a shot. Let's talk about that when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. He and I are Lonzo. We are Lonzo. You're listening to the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate, y'all.
That work.
All right, we're going to be right back. Got a live read. Don't go nowhere.
Fund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll.
Trying to
tax
think if
refund
I'm
program.
offended or
We
not
do
by
all the
Rob
work,
dressing up as
charging on a
me.
dime up
I don't know.
front, and simply share a percentage of the cash
Haven't
that we
decided
get for
yet.
you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This
Thanks, Stephen.
Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Let's face it, credit cards are
So it's been out a couple weeks. Stephen, how? So most people already knew what was going to happen at the mid-credit scene. Did your theater go a little crazy? It's still awful cool to see him.
Apply online and you can get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 6.99% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high interest credit cards and save money.
Rob really just went to take the wig off so he could air out his head. Takes fortitude to haul around a lion's mane. It does. That's why lions rule, except for in Detroit.
Steven said he would recommend Black Adam to all the Rob bots.
And some of them immediately left to go watch the movie.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs and overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. If you root for the
Carolina.
is inviting you to choose a side. Carolina and Clemson jackpot scratch-offs are on sale now. Bragging rights on these tickets are worth as much as $200,000, and there are great second chance prizes. See SCEducationLottery.com for game odds and details.
Listen on the Odyssey app. Search the Fan Upstate.
As scary music goes, this is like a top tier song, right?
Apologies to stream, but I can't air this on the stream. But yeah, especially since the director wrote and performed the music.
So good.
John Carpenter, all his movies have.
Oh, he made his own music? For
Yeah,
these?
yeah, he does it for
Really?
almost all his movies. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Damn, I wish I had talent and ability. That'd be nice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rob Brown Shows on the radio. It's the Fan Upstate. For those who are in the stream, he's playing the theme to Halloween. But we just can't play it on the stream. You'll be all right. Just play it in your head. You'll be fine. Let's keep going with this discussion about the Gamecocks. Because it was bad. It was bad. Spencer looks lost, right? And he just doesn't look like he's that guy. It's unfortunate. There was a lot of hype. And listen, you're not the first college football team that's brought in a guy that had a lot of hype that just didn't have it. All right. Spencer just doesn't have it. I don't know what happened. I'm not being facetious when I say that I hope South Carolina can get Spencer Rattler to a sports therapist to figure out what's causing the yips. But something's causing the yips, right? Like very clearly and evidently. But there's actually another problem that's skipping out here. At the end of the day, Lonzo, you could put Michael Vick out there in his prime. If the offensive scheme is bad, doesn't matter, right? And I think the calls for Marcus Satterfield to be relieved of OC duties have hit their crescendo at this point.
Yeah, see, here's the problem. I think everybody wants to blame Satterfield, and no one's pointing the finger at the problem. And the problem, at least the biggest problem, is Spencer Rattler.
I am not entirely disagreeing. I am partially disagreeing, but not entirely, because Spencer Rattler is a problem.
Well, the offensive coordinator has a problem if the quarterback is limited. You can only do so much with what you have.
Right. But then my question becomes, and again, I don't know that there's a right and a wrong in this, Zoe. My question becomes, if your quarterback is limited, does it become partially the OC's job to recognize and realize what those limitations are and play within them, right? To give him the best chance at succeeding at giving him options that are within his skill set, instead of trying to force the same offense every week when clearly it's not really working, right? Because you go back to the win over Kentucky, great win, backup quarterback. You go up to the win over Texas A&M, great win, backup and third string quarterback. It's a great win. So I'm not taking away from the wins. I'm taking away from them a little bit. But the offense was carried by the running backs, right? That's the identity of this team. And it's like sat in this game. And granted, you had Marshawn Lloyd, who got dinged up in that game. He had already been dinged up a couple of times. But you had Marshawn get dinged up. There were, however, a couple of spots I did have a real problem. In fact, there was one real problem. And I think even Zoe, I think the announcers pointed it out as well, that they had like a 3rd and 2 situation and Marshawn was on the bench and they had Juju McDowell in, and then they ran a power I formation, right? Like, why are you going with the dude who's like 5'6", 190?
Your edge guy. Yeah.
Yeah, why exactly? Why are you running your scat back? Why are you running your edge rusher when you need to and you're going to run power? If you put Juju in there, you fake power, and then you run a little toss outside, I still think it's a terrible call, but at least it's a terrible call that maximizes the chance that Juju can use his athleticism to make a play. Marshawn had 7 carries for 30 yards. Christian Beal-Smith, 3 for 3 yards. Juju, 5 for 1 yard. 32 rushing yards, right? So if you're going to force Spencer, which again, I think is the wrong call, but if you're going to force Spencer Rattler, you're going to make Spencer Rattler do something here. My question at that point becomes, why would you not do things that fit within the Spencer Rattler skill set? So the calls for the head of Marcus Satterfield have increased. Let me grab clip 2B if you don't mind here, Zoe. Shano got asked in the presser, how do you respond to people that are calling for changes? And this is what he said.
Externally, there are a lot of folks who think that changes should be made, whether it's play caller or quarterback, what have you. Do you have a response to anyone who might feel that way?
No, I understand their frustrations. We flat out laid an egg tonight. And after every game, like I've always talked about, tonight was not good enough in any phase, and starting with me. But like every game, win or lose, we always get back to work on Sunday morning and see what the issues are, what we did well, what we didn't do well. But certainly tonight, we were not good enough, and we got to figure out how to be better.
I mean, first off, we were not good enough is correct. I mean, that's a solid assertion to the game. Lonzo, if I asked you to hand out a game ball to a player, a group, a unit from that game on Saturday, is there anybody you'd have one for? The fans, maybe?
Well, I could joke around and say the punter, but he shanked one, so I can't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'd have to go with the fans.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. End of sentence. I don't know. I did hear one thing, though, that kind of blew me up a little bit. I did hear one thing in the press conference of Shane Beamer that I kind of scratched my head a little bit, right? One thing in the press conference that made me scratch my head a little bit. Jaheim Bell played like a couple of snaps. Jaheim Bell, I'm going to tell you, as Lonzo and I are NFL guys, I'm going to tell you that Jaheim Bell is being considered as a potential second, third, at latest fourth round draft pick. Got a skill set very similar to Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. Jaheim Bell needs the ball, right? Jaheim Bell has not gotten the ball. All week long, Marcus Satterfield, Shane Beamer, all of them, all week long, we're talking about how Jaheim Bell is going to get the ball, needs the ball. We're going to work on getting him the ball. Jaheim Bell didn't get the ball, right? Shano got asked about that. He got asked first and foremost, was he hurt? Here's his response.
Shane, is Jaheim Bell healthy? Is there any sort of disciplinary issue?
Jaheim Bell's healthy. If there was a disciplinary issue, he wouldn't have been playing. Jaheim Bell's healthy, and we got to get him the ball more.
How frustrated are you that he had 0 touches today?
We got a lot of great playmakers on our offense, at receiver, at running back, at tight end. When you play 53 plays on offense and you're 5 of 13 on third down, it's hard to play a lot of plays and get all those guys the ball.
Don't love that. Don't like that. Not even a little.
That sounds like the Matt Rule excuse.
Yep.
That sounds exactly like we were listening to a Matt Rule press conference.
I am so glad you said that, because that was the same reaction I had, right? When they're like, why isn't DJ getting the ball more? Matt Rule's like, well, we got limited plays out there. It's tough to get the ball. It's like, dude, If you got 53 plays, DJ Moore should be getting the ball on 10 of them, right? Christian should be getting it on 15 of them. Dude, if you got 53 plays, Shane, Jaheim Bell should be targeted on 7 of them at least, right? And he wasn't. He wasn't. It's just not good enough. But that wasn't even the part that really threw me off. The part that threw me off was later in that presser, and I didn't have time to pull the sound. I will hopefully have it for tomorrow. But
wig adjustment took
some time, dude.
It does.
Took some time. It is hard to get right.
When I glue mine on every morning, it takes me a good 45 minutes.
I have more respect for Lonzo rolling up into this building looking as good as he does every day now. It's rough. It's tough. Somebody's got to do it. By the way, if you go to, I don't know if it's been changed yet, but as of last night, if you go to Marcus Satterfield's Wikipedia, somebody changed it yesterday to say, Lonzo, Marcus David Satterfield is an American football coach and former player. He is the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach for South Carolina, where he uses a magic 8-ball to call the offensive plays, all while avoiding South Carolina's top playmaker. So they were asking about Jaheim Bell. Yeah. They were asking about Jaheim Bell. And there was a bit of an uproar because Jaheim Bell's entire family is all over Twitter right now. And I'm about 95% sure you're losing your top playmaker, or the guy who should be your top playmaker, to the transfer portal this year, right? Because of this game. His unk has been on Twitter. He tweeted out, time to move on. Mom popped up, Dolores Bell, and said, #definitely, right? Like, he's gone. And so they asked Beamer in the press conference, like, what now, right? What now? And Shane was talking about the offense and finding the ball to get to the playmakers. And here's where it threw me off, Lonzo. Tell me if I'm maybe getting a little bit dramatic with this. Rob is a bit of a drama queen sometimes. Shane said they need to figure out how to get to the ball to the playmakers better. They have so many playmakers, and they need to figure out how to get the ball. When he was talking about the offense of this team, he used the word they. But when he was talking about the successes they've had at A&M and Kentucky, it was we. Am I reading too much into it? Because it is really the first time that it kind of felt like, to me, Shane Beamer was kind of distancing himself away from a team problem by repeatedly referring to the failed offense as they, but everything else was we.
Yeah, I don't think that was purposeful. I think he was clearly upset. And this is the first time since he's been there that I think he looked at his team and didn't see effort. I really think that's what it is. I think he's upset about the lack of effort.
I mean, maybe. And let me phrase that. That definitely plays into it. And, it can be frustrating. We all had group projects you've had to do, whether it's at school, at work. We've all had that group project where you get about halfway through and you realize that Todd from down the hall isn't doing it, right? He's not pulling his weight. You're like, Todd, get your life together. Todd, what are you doing? Todd, come on, man. By the way, I just realized we have a Todd that's working here. Twisted Todd's fantastic, and he busts his rear end.
He's a very hard worker.
Yes.
He's here all the time. I know because I see him.
Yeah. So let me pick another name. Beef is on the group project.
Yes, Beef returns.
Freaking Beef. Beef's on the group project. Beef shows up. Beef coasts. Beef doesn't do the work. And then you go into the office to present, or you go up in front of the class to present, and your group presentation, it just ain't there. And you get done, and you did yours, and Zoe did his, but Beef didn't put in the work, right? And that's a moment where the teach goes, your presentation was not that good. Your presentation's a C. You're like, whoa. Beef's presentation was a C. Our presentation was an A, right? That's how that I'm sure that's what it was for Shane. Shane doesn't strike me as a guy who does anything but attack every day that he's the head coach with intensity and purpose, right? But at the same time, whether you like it or not, Shane, it's your team and it's your offense, dude. And if you are unhappy with the level of success or failure there, whether you were happy with the success or the failure, you are a part of that, right? And if you're not happy with it, then make the change. Make the change, whether it's you taking over the offense, whether it is Marcus being overruled, or whether it's Marcus getting replaced. It's your team. There ain't no they here, my dude. There's no they. It's we. It's us. From the outside looking in, it's y'all, right? And this is the part where it gets wildly frustrating, because it felt to me, whether it was on purpose or whether it was subliminal, an unconscious decision. So it felt to me when he was calling the offense they, like he was trying to separate himself, distance himself from it. And even if it was because he was unhappy with the effort, which I think you're probably spot on there, even if he was trying to distance himself from the effort or lack thereof in his opinion, dude, it's still your team. It's still we. It's still us. It's still y'all. It is the first time, Lonzo, that I listened to Shane Beamer and felt like, not the right attack, dude. Not the right approach. You have to own this. That's why you get paid as many dollars as you get paid to attack it. You've got to own this.
Well, I'll be interested to hear if he has his next press conference, if he has the same tone. Because I would guess it's going to be something different, that it's not going to be like that. That after, getting the night between a couple nights between that game and now, I think he'll be a little more positive.
You got to hope so. But even still, it's hard to be positive after that. Let's take a break. Rob, Lonzo, the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate.
And access to product specialists.
All right.
Just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's to Prilosec OTC. Without Prilosec, I wouldn't be able to enjoy all this yummy holiday food. Speaking of, whoever made that apple pie, delicious. I just take one pill each morning and zero heartburn all day. So cheers to Prilosec OTC. Ooh, are those jalapeno poppers?
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Uses directly for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate
Are
relief.
you ready to tackle your banking needs? HomeTrust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you.
So,
With a wide range of
I've been
personal,
told
and
that
commercial services, you will discover
the
all
Weird Al
you need
Yankovic movie is less of a
Touch at HomeTrust Bank.
biopic, or is it biopic or biopic?
I think it's biopic, and it doesn't look like a biopic.
I've been told it's a movie about Weird Al, as if it was made by Weird Al.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's just a
So
parody.
you haven't
of his
seen the
life.
trailer? Watch a trailer. And
Is
you
it
can-
pretty obvious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the trailers
I
with
saw the
Madonna.
clip where it kind of played off the Bohemian Rhapsody clip where he walks in and he's like, play it, and throws the tape at him.
Yeah, and Madonna is into him big time during the whole. That's why you should watch. Yeah, it's.
When it came to their website, an average site wouldn't do. They chose AmericanEagle.com to take their website to the next level. With a dramatic increase in competition and a softening market demand, they had two challenges: improve their brand presence and message, and produce a positive return. AmericanEagle.com got to work and executed usability studies and detailed audits of site experience, digital assets, and marketing. The result, an integrated digital marketing and customer experience plan, organic traffic increase of 20%, and a long-term roadmap for success. If you love great steaks, go
Well, one denial, which I figured,
design, development, and online solutions that bring efficiency and results.
but that person has another job.
Yeah.
So, but so's the other guy. We'll see.
877 Web Now 1. That's 877 Web Now 1.
Morgan's media planning firm just landed a multi-million-dollar client. She needs to staff up before trafficking hits a traffic jam. So we're going to need research, planning, buying, obviously, and probably data analytics. Indeed can help her
Well, it would appear, at least so far, my idea of removing some things from breaks has caused the chapters so far to work right.
Removing things from.
There are some things that are triggering chapters to start.
Yeah.
And I asked Mark for permission to remove them to see if that's what it is. And
And
it
it
looks
is.
like that's what it is. And it's promos and liners.
More than the score. Real sports talk for real sports fans.
The Rob Brown Show, now 9 noon, upstate.
Did you really get jump scared from a music bed?
Listen, I know we're rolling scary music today, and we're sorry to the folks on the stream because we can't play it there because it's all trademarked. So we can play it on the air, but not on the stream because we'll get taken down. I know we're playing scary music. I know that is coming.
It actually says kill now.
Is that what it says?
Kill, 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 kill.
That actually makes a lot of sense. But the
Now you're trying to see if you can hear it.
yeah, I don't hear it.
Kill her, mommy. Kill her.
Anyway, you don't expect a blood-curdling women's scream coming to open the segment. Threw me off my game a little bit. Which, by the way, speaking of terrifying, let us all congratulate the great one as Lonzo has his first Boo Box Bets victory under his cloak and bracers. His first Boo Box Bets victory comes in a week where I had my worst week of picks ever. 3-7. Zoe went 4-6, and tomorrow on the show, Rob Brown will pick from the Boo Box. And I am going to tell you that there is one chance for me to pick the Haunted House Experience out of the box. If it does not get picked this week, it will not get picked because they're only open through this weekend. So tune in tomorrow. Somebody asked, why not today? Because I have not made mine yet.
He doesn't have to make. I haven't done it yet. It's I will put the stuff in the box. Why would you put your stuff in your own box? Are you afraid for me to do it? Afraid I might put some stuff in there that you're unaware of?
No, have that. You'll be looking through every piece of paper that goes in, and then you will have sole possession of the box until I draw.
I will do it.
Okay.
I will do it later. I probably will have plenty of time today.
Lonzo got his ultimate fear today, realized on Halloween. He gets to work till 7 p.m. apparently. Okay. Work. Late. Today. Not a fan. I get it. So Rob Brown loses his first Boo Box Bets challenge by a game. And by the way, we'll go over the results later in the show. Zoe, we missed the Ohio State-Penn State game by 1.5. We missed the Florida-Georgia game by 0.5 point. Welcome to Vegas. We missed the we got Carolina-Atlanta by 0.5 point. We lost the Green Bay-Buffalo game by 0.5 point. We were a grand total of 4 or 5 points away from both of us having our best week of picks ever. I missed Chicago at Dallas. I had Chicago plus 9.5. They lost by 20. The hell? What was that, Chicago? Chicago looked terrible. Dallas, on the other hand, almost put up the 50 spot. What happened to Jacksonville? Were you convinced like I was that Jacksonville was like right there on the cusp?
No, they're Jacksonville.
That is correct.
Yeah, I did pick them to win because they were playing Denver, but they're still Jacksonville.
High knees for everybody. The Broncos got it done in London. Georgia beat Florida by 22. The spread minus 22.5. Like I said, if you need to know where the direction of sports is going, look to Vegas. These guys are freaking good at what they do. Let's take our top of the hour break. When we come back, what games do you guys want to get into? Josh Allen and his Bills looked uncomfortable yesterday and still won the game. The Packers last week were asking, should we make a trade to get a wide receiver and give ourselves a chance? I'm at the point now where it's like, it's not even worth it. It's not worth it anymore, right? We'll talk about that. The Saints are apparently back. 24-0 wins over the Raiders. NFL was crazy. What games do y'all want to talk about? Text them to us at 71307. Start your text with the word fan. We'll hit them all when we come back on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Mistake.
Wow, I am so disappointed. Is this the hobby musician? No. This is I know how to play this instrument.
By the way, my the wig style without the hat, y'all, is white trash Karen.
Wow, that makes me feel better.
Zoe, you don't have this going on, buddy.
Not yet.
If you rolled up in here with, are you dyeing your hair?
No.
Okay, then you won't have to worry about roots. Oh, you put the ukulele in it. Nice.
New time.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic,
Did you get two no's?
No, not yet. I'm trying to figure out. So I had to put a promo in there because there is no, and so I'm going to see if it breaks everything up. If it does, then I know
You
that's
got your trigger, yeah.
yeah. But then I don't have a solution for that. Well, I do, but it's they created a new number, but the problem with the new number is it doesn't stream.
Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to getrefunds.com/sports, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to getrefunds.com/sports. That's getrefunds.com/sports.
Well, I'm a orthopedic surgeon, board certified.
Meet Dr. John Herzog, who's certainly done his share of knee and hip replacements. But these days, he's encouraging his patients to look at regenerative medicine options, now available at QC Kinetics.
I'm kind of the anti-surgeon right now, and a lot of my buddies, if they hear me talking, they're going to give me a call.
Dr. Herzog says advances in regenerative medicine can give your achy joints lasting relief using highly concentrated healing agents. from
So
the
as of now, it looks like it still works.
Out of you, be concentrated and putting it in an area where they couldn't normally get to and facilitate.
But
Are you suffering
It
from
did work?
pain due to arthritis or
I'm-
injury?
Your fix worked.
So far,
Okay.
yes. But problem is the ID is an IM number. So the ID is probably going to trigger another chapter. And if it does, then it actually helps us because then I can point out this is what it is.
Yeah.
We need to change the number.
Throughout the 60s and 70s, cops hunted down key figures of the Dixie Mafia, including its enigmatic ringleader, Kirksey Nix. I'm interested in making money. I'm not interested in 15 years into Kirksey's life sentence, the Dixie Mafia was practically folklore, but that would soon change. I'm Jed Lipinski. This is Gone South, a documentary podcast from C13 Originals, a Cadence 13 studio. Season 2, The Dixie Mafia. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Mad World Haunted Attraction is now open. Come experience South Carolina's #1 haunted attraction. Located in Piedmont off I-85, exit 35.
It's not, Steven, that's a traffic girl. She's totally different, or traffic woman, whatever. It's not Heather. And she does sound like she's dying. And she must be like me, has no one to come in for her. So she has to work even when she can barely speak. That's what I'm guessing.
Has concluded. You don't want that to be the case. I want to be able to cover again a national championship team. You had a kind of a down season, and I get it. A down season in Clemson is an historic season for most fan bases, but not at Clemson.
No, it's not. It is not. No, it's not. Maybe for the teams you pull for. I'm about to be angry Nord probably the rest of the show. So
Fine, but you have to speak in that one guy's Skyrim voice that is like 90% of the NPCs. The really gruff voice.
see, I've added so many mods that replace a bunch of the voices. Yeah, so I haven't played just the straight packaged game in a long time.
I put in a mod, the cheat room, with the intent of just because the only thing that ever drives me off of Skyrim is getting to grinding, where you're just grinding for money and magic and all that.
Except for you can put in rich merchants, and then you don't have to do that anymore.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you still got to go get the money when you want to buy something.
Not if you craft. If you craft.
That's the one element of the game I never got into. I guess I need to just suck it up and do it.
All you got to do is all those weapons you took off of all those guys, just to make them stronger and sell them.
So the Rob Brown Show starts now. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, y'all. It is the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. I am Rob Brown, a.k.a. the slightly less handsome Lonzo. Lonzo, a.k.a. the Nordest Nord to ever Nord, is on the other side of the metaphorical glass today. I just had it on. We've got one of the talking head shows up on the TV. Zoe and I thought that dressing up as the great one for Halloween would be, fun and creative, and people would be like, oh, Rob's Lonzo, as I pay homage by showing up on Halloween as the world's greatest radio producer / co-host.
If you were me, you'd be working really late today, though. So there's
that unfortunately, the package costume did not come with extra hours picking up other shifts. It did. I just don't do it that way. And then I clipped it on to one of the talking head sports shows where I saw that one of the producers on that show dressed up as Greenie for Halloween. So apparently I'm not the only genius in the world like I thought I was.
Yeah, how hard would that be to dress up like him?
Just put on a suit and have a beard.
And
I dress as Greenberg.
And eat like quinoa or whatever it is that he likes.
Look. Oh, hey, Trey says you look like Sean Bean in one of those fantasy films. One of those fantasy films.
That would not bode well for you.
No, Sean Bean dies in every fantasy film. Lonzo will do his best to make it to 7 p.m. without being impaled, eaten by a dragon, shot by an orc. The basics.
Yeah, I'm equipped to handle all that, so we're good.
Happy Nerdoween to us, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We've talked a lot of Carolina. I want to hear, like Gamecock fans, how do you feel right now about everything going on? What is the response from Gamecock Nation? Because I don't feel good about any of it. I don't feel good about any of it. I don't feel good about Shane Beamer. And it's honestly, since his hiring, the first time I can say that. I certainly don't feel good about Marcus Satterfield at this point. I think he's a massive problem. I think the Spencer Rattler experiment can go ahead. We can chalk it up as a failure. I think it might be time to make the switch to Luke Doty and see what happens, right? It's just not going great. So I want to hear, and this is the part of the year where this happens, and it's not an exclusively South Carolina thing. I have already been told by a host, a cavalcade of people, to be prepared, because when Clemson is bad again, and college football is cyclical, it's going to happen to everybody. But when Clemson is bad again, I have already been told to be prepared, because the Clemson fans will go MIA, right? I've already been told that the Clemson fans will go MIA. But this is kind of how I feel about Carolina fans right now, right? Like, where the hell are you guys? The last 2 weeks, with the win over Kentucky and the win over A&M, the text line was abuzz with Gamecock fans. We are now an hour and 4 minutes deep into the show. I got nothing. Where are you guys? Apathy solves nothing for your school. Apathy accomplishes exactly squat. This is the point where you need to get heard. And Lonzo, when I give you the opportunity, the phone line's open at 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FAN-FONE, 844-326-3663. The text line is open by texting 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-N. Apathy accomplishes nothing. We give you a platform that is absolutely paid attention to in Columbia to express your concerns, and I got nothing. In fact, here is the first text we've gotten. Kev says, I'm a Gamecocks fan, but they've killed me on college football. That's why I'm so into my Bills football. I get it. Fan, Rattler holds the ball too long. There are open guys, and he just can't read the field. It's Doty time. As I told Zoe back in the first hour, there's plenty of blame to go along for what happened on Saturday. Satterfield deserves some. Rattler deserves some. Beamer deserves some. The players deserve some. There's plenty of blame to go around. But where are you putting yours, right? Where are you putting yours? I am not thrilled about Shane Beamer right now. Now, before anybody starts banging out the tweets that Rob Brown is calling for the firing of Shane Beamer, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I am saying that I'm not thrilled about the fact that it certainly sounds like Shane Beamer is kind of bailing on accountability right now, right? The offense struggled Saturday. We all know it. And what does Shane say? Oh, they need to. They need to. They've got to. They need to. It's we, coach. Sat might be the guy that's calling the plays, but it's at your discretion, my dude. It is at your leisure that he calls plays. You may change that position at any time that you wish. I got to wonder, is there a point, Zoe, where Ray Tanner steps in and makes the change for Shane Beamer?
No.
You don't think so?
No, he doesn't do that.
Is that the right call, though? Like, if you're Ray Tanner, at some point, do you step in and go, all right, coach, we as an athletic department believe that Satterfield is a major part of the problem. We're going to move on from him. Who do you want next?
Maybe you put some heat on Satterfield and he makes the right decision and puts Doty in. And if he puts Doty in and there's a change, then there's proof that it's not him, that it was Spencer Rattler all along.
Maybe.
When people have heat on them, they make changes. No changes have been made yet. So just because the fan base is yelling for something doesn't mean that within the organization they care.
Texas says, historically, what I've always seen, Associated Press gives us a number, instant loss.
Not true. Not true. Back in the day when Spurrier was there, it was the norm for a while for South Carolina to be ranked.
I heard somebody
and ranked
yesterday,
high, not 25, but ranked, up in the top 15.
I heard somebody yesterday say, classic Carolina football, right? This is what we do. And I did wonder about halfway through that game, though. I did kind of wonder.
It's a bunch of Debbie Downers, man. Yeah, this is just what we do. Yeah, the winning mentality starts with the fan base.
Do they read their own press clippings? Do you think maybe they got a little, pardon the pun, cocky?
I do. I absolutely do.
I do too.
They came in kind of like, we got this. We got this. And they didn't have it.
It kind of looked like, at least to some degree, it kind of looked and felt to me like that team went, all right, we're a top 25 team and we're favored by 4 over a team nobody expects us to listen to. Let's just go out there and do what we do. Right? Shane said, I felt like we had a great week of practice. I felt like everything was pointed in the right direction. And then we just laid an egg. His words, not mine. It definitely felt to me like the Gamecocks kind of got in their own heads.
All right. So here's a problem I have. First of all, they weren't competing for the East. I get that Carolina lost this game and they didn't look like they wanted to be out there, and you can come up with all the reasons why, but they're projected to make a bowl game. I mean, and they still can. They still got Vandy. It's got a chance to make a bowl game. Could they have won 8 games? Yeah. Could they have been competitive? Yes.
They can't now.
But they are. Well, they could. They're not going to. They could. Mathematically, you still could beat Tennessee and Clemson. They're not going to. I know, but I'm saying mathematically, it's possible.
Correct. There are enough games remaining on the schedule
There we
to
go.
win 8 games.
There we go. But I get the disappointment, and I'm disappointed too, as a fan of the Gamecocks. I'm disappointed, but it's not that. Oh, I expect them to lose all that. I'm not really that surprised. I'm more the only surprise for me is how they played, because it's more reminiscent of a Muschamp team than it is a Beamer team. And I think that's what you saw. You saw some Muschamp tendencies on the field Saturday.
I actually agree with that. I think that's a really good take. I think you're spot on. That felt more Muschampian than it did Beamerish, right? I agree with that. Texture says Marcus Satterfield's offense is terrible. It's predictable. Bubble screen, vertical route, or big set run. That's from JT and Greer. JT, appreciate that text. Thank you very much.
And at the same time, maybe it has to be that way because that's all the quarterback can do.
Then you got to make the switch.
Oh,
man.
agreed. But I mean, you can look at it and think, well, that means that the guy behind him can't do any better than this. And we've seen Doty play pretty well. He has starting experience.
You know what the feel is to me with that? Why they haven't made the switch yet? It feels like they're hoping, at some point it's going to take, right? Like at some point, Rattler's going to go out and have a game where he goes for 350, 3 touches and 90 on the ground. And we're like, there he is. That's the guy. But I do think at some point you've just got to look at it and go, it's taken too long to happen. You're running out of time for it to happen where who cares if they make a mistake, right? Like you've got Vandy and Florida left, and you have to beat one of them. You should be able to beat Vanderbilt, but it is at Vandy's house, right? And that's not a gimme game.
Come on.
It would have felt like a gimme game if they
No, I get, if it was, it's in Florida or in, but it's the Vanderbilt. That's not an advantage.
Man.
Look, the nerds are angry. Woo. I mean,
Texture says, if Beamer doesn't make a change, he'll lose the fan base. Just ask Muschamp.
I don't think he will.
Beamer is nothing like Muschamp, but I will tell you, the risk of apathy is there no matter how exciting your head coach is.
I'm going to take it to another degree. Beamer's press conference was Muschampian.
It was. He opened it with, everybody's got to be better, and it starts with me. I wasn't good enough. And I'm like, great, good.
He wasn't wearing glasses down on the tip of his nose, was he?
He was not.
Okay, because,
only the coolest kids can get away with that. I do kind of look like knockoff Dude Love,
There's also a little bit of Garth going on over there.
Not mad about that.
A little bit.
Not mad about that. All right. God, I'm a dork. So after he went, I need to be better. It's on me. It's on all of us. I need to be better. When asked about the offense, it was they need to be better. They need to do this. It's like, dude, you do realize at any point you could just put your hands to the headset and go, hey, Marcus, stop doing that thing. You just stop doing that. Just stop that. It's your team, Beam. It's your team. Texter says our defense couldn't get off the field and our running back looked like he had a hammy issue. I mean, listen, Marshawn did not finish that game healthy, right? And it was very obvious. And if you take away the guy that should be running the ball 25 times a game, 30 times a game, yeah, it's a problem. But when he was good early in the game, I still didn't feel like he got enough, right? He wasn't fed and in the wrong spots. How do you have 3rd and 2, run a power set and have McDowell in there? That's the wrong call. Texter says, Rattler has underperformed all year, but this past weekend didn't have the defense and special teams to bail him out. It's time for a change. Texas said, I've thought this since last season that Marcus Satterfield has to go. I don't understand how the scheme from our bowl game works so well, and now none of those plays are run. Yeah, you got to keep in mind, the bowl game was kind of a one-off, right? The bowl game was kind of a one-off. It's a game you certainly want to win, but it's not a game that's like a must-win. It's not a game that if you lose, you're in trouble. It's a game you want to win, but you had a reserve quarterback / wide receiver, right? So you could have a little fun. You could get a little loose. Maybe that becomes your play style, right? Like Steve Spurrier made his legacy after that. Steve Spurrier made an entire damn legacy on fun and gun, on improv, wide open offenses. And maybe you lean into that a little bit. But if you're going to go wide open, if you're going to do what you did, you got to have an offensive line you trust, and you got to have an offensive coordinator who understands the strengths and the appeals of his team. And I don't think you have those things right now. 844-FANFONE, 844-326-3663 is the number. Let me get Alan in here real quick. Wants to talk a little USC ball. Alan, welcome to the show, bud. Good to have you.
Thank you. You know, Spurrier said it best, or more honestly than anybody back in the day, as far as having a vanilla run offense. He basically put it to you like this. If you don't have the skill, if you don't have the players, if you don't have the talent to run all these extravagant plays and stuff that everybody wants to see, you're kind of limited in what you can call. Now, everybody in the world, probably except me, is calling for Satterfield to be taken out. We got to be careful about what we ask for. Satterfield is loved by his players. They love him. They think the world of him. They know he's a hard worker. They know he's a good play caller and everything else. He calls plays they agree with, and they got to believe in that before they go out and execute. We got some flaws to take care of, and I think Saturday night, perhaps, I don't know if their mind was just not in the game or Mizzou's mind was more in the game. Rattler is not as good as people said he was going to be, but he's better than he was. I don't think he quite overthrows as much as he used to, which was a big thing in the beginning.
Sure.
But he also has his share of turnovers too. So, I see him getting better. He doesn't move around in the pocket as quickly. I don't think he's that scared as much as he used to be in the beginning. But I think he's improving with age, and certainly as the more he plays. So anyway, that's what I got. That's what I saw Saturday.
Alan, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much for checking in. Rattler is not awful by any stretch. And there are absolutely elements of his game that have gotten better. There is no doubt about that. But there's a lot that's still lacking. And the problem with Satterfield is, to me, it doesn't feel like he's it doesn't feel like he's calling plays that fit to the strength of Spencer Rattler, right?
But maybe he is. Maybe
that's just all Rattler's got.
Maybe that's the problem.
That's just the best available.
That's all he has.
That might not be wrong. That might not be wrong. But if it is, then you need to go back to Lou Doty.
Well, and here's the major problem with this. As soon as you put Rattler on the bench, he's done in football.
Correct.
Period.
Correct.
And so it has to be, if we're going to do this, he's done for the rest of the season, and his career might be over, because I don't want to say mentally he can't handle it, but getting benched twice, you're pretty much done.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely spot on.
And so you look at this kid and go, okay, this is going to ruin this kid if I put him on the bench. Maybe that
you know what else
causes
gets
you
ruined?
to keep him around a little bit longer.
You know what else gets ruined? Every bit of goodwill you've built up if you lose to Vanderbilt.
That's true.
Every bit of goodwill Shane Beamer has built up goes right back out the window if you lose to Vanderbilt. That's just a fact, man. That's just a fact. You better figure it out. All right. Let's get away from Carolina. And then next segment, we'll talk about Carolina, the Panthers. That was, I don't know, what adjective do you want to put on the way that game ended, Lonzo? Depressing, upsetting, unfortunate?
There's no one or two words that can describe the emotional roller coaster that we felt yesterday. And I blame it all on Rob Brown.
Most people do most of the time. Let's talk about that when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. He is the great one, Lonzo. Happy Halloween, everybody. It is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Oh, I just realized I could also go as a Targaryen after the show.
Shawn Michaels used to do this, and I've done it too, where you just take a little bit of it back there.
Yeah.
It makes it a mullet, but you know, if you do what you're doing.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Look, I could also go as a truck driver.
There you go. Makes your ears stick out.
It does. I didn't know. What makes my ears stick out is that my ears stick out.
Okay. Well, there may be that too.
Now I'm somebody who wants to speak to your manager.
No, you're Dave Grohl.
Dave Grohl. I'm cool, blonde Dave Grohl. Yes, I'm Trailer Park Damon Targaryen. Okay, that's enough of that. Texture said, what happens if Missouri wins next year? Another Tiger team can hold up 5 fingers to the Gamecocks. Woof.
True.
Woof. You look like the new replacement in The Witcher for Henry Cavill. The internet rumors, though.
Well, I'm upset about that, but the reason why is because Superman's happening.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, there's a rumor that he's joining House of the Dragon for next season. That's like a year and a half, 2 years away.
That's what happened too. I think it's more about Superman now.
You're probably right.
Because he announced that he's coming back from Superman, and then a few days later announced that he would no longer be on Witcher.
Yeah.
Unless they start filming it soon, it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't get canceled after the 3rd season, since he's not going to be there.
Oh, The Witcher?
Yeah.
Who are they replacing him with? Do we know?
Liam Hemsworth.
That's not a terrible pickup.
It's not.
I don't know how big of a dork he is. Did you see?
He was in Hunger Games. I mean,
Yeah, that's fair. Did you see the rumor that, or the story reporting that the people who were writing The Witcher said that they hated the video games it was based on?
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Like, why would you sign on to a project based on a video game that you hate?
Click Granger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you ready to
That's a lot of
sell
water.
your home, but you're worried about what's next? You know, you sell your house and then you need
There
to
are
buy
people
another one. Hey, it's Rob Brown here for
who take
Allen
either the
Tate.
books or the
Listen
games.
to Yeah.
So
me. At Allen Tate, they
it's harder to
understand
look with the
that
hat
situation,
backwards.
and
That's
their realtors work
rough.
tirelessly to find buyers Like- for homes.
They can't figure out who you are
They
now.
work hard to make sure that they find homes for
All right, the glasses
buyers.
make
So
turn
your
me back
house,
into
you wanna buy another one,
Michael
they
Hayes. We're good.
I had a couple of years ago at a Halloween party. I had one of my very best friends, Bobby Best, show up with his at the time girlfriend Erica, dressed as me and my then at the time girlfriend Christina, except for Lonzo, for a 4-hour party. Every 20 minutes, they went to their car and changed into another version of us, right? So, like, she was a wildlife biologist, a bird person, and their last one was Erica came in like exact mock-up of her biology company's gear with birds on her shoulder. Bobby, who was black and made it funnier, came in my concert attire. So like jeans, boots, flannel shirt, cowboy hat, and went into my room and got my guitar to carry it around. Every like 20 minutes, they changed into another Rob Brown, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I took it as the highest of compliments.
Quit being worried that I'm offended.
I am worried you're offended that I don't look good enough to do this. But
It didn't stop you from doing it in the first place.
correct.
Are you ready to tackle your banking needs? Home Trust Bank's team of expert advisors and lenders want to be your teammate. We want to hear your story, learn your aspirations, and assist you with financial needs, and provide options that are tailored to you. With a wide range of personal, mortgage, and commercial services, you will discover all your banking needs under one roof with a local and personalized touch at Home Trust Bank. Score big with Home Trust Bank. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. If you root for the Tigers and the Gamecocks, the lottery is inviting you to choose a side. Carolina and Clemson jackpot scratch.
Choose a side.
These tickets are worth as much as $200,000, and there are great second chance prizes. See SCEducationLottery.com for game odds and details.
Always streaming wherever you are on the Odyssey app. Make the Fan Upstate a favorite.
I've gotten multiple party on Garths throughout the day today. You have not seen what we're talking about. Go to the live stream of the show at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, and you can go watch it live on the Fan Upstate's YouTube page as well. Search and subscribe to the Fan Upstate or the Rob Brown Show. Oh, is it not up there? Did we not get it running?
No, it didn't work again.
Oh, perfect. Well, then search and subscribe to the Rob Brown Show on the YouTube. You can also get us on Twitter at the Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word, or on Facebook at the Fan Upstate. That's where you can watch the live stream. Lonzo and I apparently the only ones in this industry with a calendar, because we did Halloween on Halloween, not Friday for no reason at all.
Maybe those other guys looked and went, you know, it's supposed to rain that day. I don't want my makeup to run, so I'll just do it on Friday. Yeah.
We'll give them whatever. We'll
give them whatever.
Nailed it.
They were wrong. That's what it comes down to. I mean, suck it up.
Wrong, sir.
Do it on the day it's supposed to be done. Or don't do it at all.
PJ to Robbie, scratch that, to DJ, PJ to DJ, Lonzo was the best throw in the NFL so far this year. Any team, any game, the best throw so far this season was PJ Walker to DJ Moore in the end zone.
He underthrew it. It could have been a better throw.
Not by much.
Yeah, another yard would have been better.
I'll tell you what. You go 70 through the air and drop it into the radius of one man's arms. I'm not going to nitpick that. That's the best throw I've seen so far this year. Lonzo described the end of that Carolina-Atlanta game as an emotional roller coaster. And there is not a better term for it. Late in the game, Atlanta takes the lead. Carolina needs to do work. Seconds left to go. DJ from PJ for 135 yards worth of touchdown on a single play. That's how good it was. DJ Moore scores the touchdown. The Panthers tie up the football game. Then, Then DJ Moore takes his helmet off in the end zone.
Here's what I would do. I would bring DJ into the film room by himself and just have him watch Barry Sanders games over and over and over again. What's Barry do? Barry hands the ball to the referee and goes back to the sideline. I'm not Mr. Don't Celebrate, but be smart enough to know you can't take your helmet off. He cost them that game. He did. The kickers, Panera's not going to miss that extra point. And I know he missed a field goal afterwards. He got in his own head, but he wouldn't have had to do that because it would have been a chip shot. They would have won the game. Leave your helmet on. And then getting shown on the sideline, on the bench, laughing the whole time instead of being upset at what you did. And they kept showing him and kept showing him, kept showing him until finally he realized they were going to lose the game.
My heart sank a little bit for DJ.
Mine doesn't. Why should it? I mean, yeah, that was a great catch. It really was. Good for you. Don't take your helmet off.
You've never been caught up in a moment, done something dumb, and caught up in a moment.
You know the rule. You know you'll hurt your team if you do something stupid. It was too much about you at that moment. Yeah, it was a great catch, but it should have been about the victory. You're about to get first place. You're about to turn your season around, and you single-handedly put yourself back, put the entire team back in the tank mode. Way to go. If you leave your helmet on, that doesn't happen. It doesn't. Quit thinking about you. Yeah, it was a great catch. You can celebrate with your helmet on. You can go over to that camera and do your dance, do your thing, but don't take your helmet off. That was stupid.
My dude got caught up in the moment and did something dumb. I agree. It was stupid. I'm not gonna rag on DJ for the rest of the season.
Out of the building. Gone. The deadline's today. We got till 4:00. Get some draft picks. Send them somewhere where
are you
anywhere.
Okay?
Send them to Detroit. We're tanking anyway. Send him to Detroit. Detroit's got plenty of draft picks. We can get a ton of them out of them.
Who hurt you?
He did when he took his helmet off.
He hurt me for 15 yards.
You know why he hurt me? Because now we're going to have to continue to do a podcast and it's going to be all negative today. It's going to be all negative today.
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling good.
No, it's going to be negative from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's Halloween. I dressed up as you. I'm going to be the positive guy. You dressed up as a bloodthirsty barbarian. You're coming for blood.
I don't like the role, but I'm going to play it today.
Okay. We're leaning into Halloween today, kids. It was dumb. DJ got caught up in the moment. He did something dumb. It happens, right? It happens. I get it. It sucks.
Come on, Rob. It doesn't just, if you do something in the office, oh man, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. It doesn't impact everything that happens for the rest of the season. That's not a dumb move. It's a stupid move. You're an adult. You should be smarter than that. There is no caught up in the moment when it comes to that. It's ridiculous. He should not be given a pass. Period, except for another team when he's sent to another team.
In fairness, if DJ Moore doesn't make a spectacular route adjustment, readjustment, and grab, none of this happens anyway, and we just straight up lose instead of emotionally roller coaster ourselves to an out.
I'd rather straight up lose. I'd rather straight up lose than have someone do something so stupid. I would just rather him have missed catching the pass. No, everyone would have gave him a pass on missing that pass. It was a spectacular catch, but if he missed it, you know what? It was difficult. It was at the end of the game. Oh well, we lost. Not we lost because you took your helmet off.
Man, it's harsh. Harsh.
No, it's the truth.
I'm not disagreeing. It was absolutely stupid. I'm not arguing that it wasn't a dumb decision and a dumb move with some pretty hefty consequences. I will agree with that entirely. And there's really no walk back from that. He got caught up in the moment. He did something dumb. You know me. I am absolutely, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. Let the boys have a little fun. But you got to know in that moment you can't do that, right? I'm not saying like hand the ball to the ref and walk swiftly back to the sideline. If you want to dance, dance. I'm good with that. The Eagles had like 3 full team choreographed dances. I'm good with that.
See, I think you're missing my point. I'm okay with all the celebrations. I'm fine with that. But if you aren't smart enough to leave your helmet on, you don't get any celebrations. No more for you. You're done for the season.
Look, I get it. I get it.
Bench him or send him away. Because winning
winning
now doesn't matter. Winning now doesn't matter. You might as well go ahead and tank. The entire season rode on that moment, and you decided it was more about you and not about the team.
I don't, I think that something is more about you than the team. I think you have to actively have that thought, right?
Rob, when you take your helmet off and you're doing this and you're pointing at you, you are talking about you.
I mean,
you're not talking about the guys behind you.
He just did something that like 15 people in this country are capable of doing, right?
They're more than that, I would say.
I don't know.
There are plays like that happening in high school. I mean, it's just,
yeah, but not against NFL caliber defensive backs.
Not with so much on the line.
Right.
Right. But the
A lot
difference
of guys
is
would have folded under that pressure.
Those high school guys, when they catch it, they get up and they get all excited, but they leave their helmet on. They leave their helmet on.
Dude, Burns has been flagged twice for that exact thing this year, right? And that's my team. I'm not trying to call him out, but it's happened.
So what
That's
you're
thing.
saying is it's even more his fault because they look to people like that. That's who your hero is. And if your hero's saying it's okay, but you know what it is though? It is a as they say on NXT, this is a teachable moment.
It's a teachable
It's a
moment.
very teachable moment because now you can go, you see what you just did? Here's what this cost the Panthers. Cost them the entire game. This is why you leave your helmet on. This should be a how not to film in all levels, including Pee Wee. All
Don't do
levels.
this.
Don't be a DJ.
Look.
And don't be a DJ because DJs don't make any money. They just don't.
Look, to me, it was a dumb move. It absolutely cost them both the win and the division. And frankly, as Lonzo said, and I don't think he's too far, the season, right? Like you've got, you're at this point 2 games back of Atlanta, plus they own the tiebreaker. The Saints went out and beat the Raiders 24-blank yesterday. They look like they're back out. They're now a game ahead of you. So they have, the half game lead by way of Carolina's win over New Orleans. You're back in the cellar in the South, right? Now, the field goal, the chip shot from Pinheiro on the PAT would have won them the game. There's no doubt. It's a dumb way to brain fart your way out of a game once but twice. But, Lonzo, do you have any interest in talking about the positives of that game? Like, is there any? Let me rephrase it. Not just at Lonzo, but at all of us.
If you want to talk about Deontay Foreman, we can talk about him.
Deontay Foreman,
yeah.
PJ Walker, 19 of 36, 317 and a touch.
Yeah, but a good majority of that came like near the end of the game. He did not play the greatest of games.
Okay. Deontay Foreman, 26 carries, 118, 3 touchdowns, averaged 4.5 a touch. PJ Walker had 120-yard run. DJ Moore had 6 grabs for $152, including the 62-yard touchdown strike on 11 targets. TMJ had 4 grabs for 87 yards. That's the game we've been looking for, right? That's the game we've been looking for. Is there any interest in talking about the positives? Or are we just going to focus on the absolute mental breakdown for the Panthers in the final 30 seconds and then in overtime? Because they had the opportunity, remember, in OT, because Marcus Mariota got picked and they gave Carolina the ball. Carolina drives it into easy field goal range, and Panero pushes that one as well. He hits that. Are we talking about DJ Moore today?
Absolutely.
Think so?
Because it wouldn't have went to overtime. The game would have been won outright. It would have been over, but he took his helmet off. I'd make him wear his helmet all the time.
Leave it. No, DJ. I know we're on the plane. Put the strap back on.
Put it back on.
Put it back on. You just had your teachable moment. Here's what I'll say. Here's my one positive. Then we'll take a break. You want to know what my one positive is here? That team had fight, dude. Isn't that what we said we're looking for? Even when we were talking about the tank, we are looking for dudes with fight that want to prove they want to be here and prove that this matters to them. He may have gone too far, but DJ certainly looked like that touchdown mattered to him, didn't it?
They had fight, but they didn't have finish because of a mental error.
I mean, look, either one of those field goals through, we absolutely say they finished.
We tried really hard. Then someone did something stupid and we lost.
Texas says, is it too soon to highlight that Foreman's jersey? Is it too soon to highlight Foreman's jersey in the Panthers team store? Heck no. No. As Rashad Beard said last Thursday, if you have got that jersey insurance and bought that 22 jersey in the last year, you send it on back and get that Deontay Foreman jersey because that's your dude now. Absolutely, that's your dude now. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back. Panthers fans, want your thoughts. Where's your head at today? Because it was bouncing up and down a little bit yesterday. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Wake up with a morning jolt of in-depth sports analysis and discussion every weekday at 6 on the DA Show. Only on the Fan Upstate.
Chuck Sanders with your sports flash on the Fan Upstate. Number 5 Clemson with 4 games.
Ooh, Jesse with the hot take. I'll tell you what, Jesse, we're going to address that when we come back, man. Stay right there, Jesse. I'm going to talk to you when we come back. Absolutely.
Benson, owner of CNT Foundations.
The economy is floundering. Retirement accounts are plummeting. And if your home has a foundation problem, you might be putting off the repair. That's a bad idea. That is why CNT Foundations is now offering up to 2 years, same as cash, for qualified homeowners. That's right. Repair your home now and pay nothing for 2 years.
Call 864-581-3341. CNT Foundations. Your foundation expert.
I was walking down the hall and what's his face? CB came around the corner and did like the confused dog thing where he just like turned his head when he saw me. And I think it took him a minute to realize who I was. Like me, like Rob, not my costume.
So you're saying he thought you were me?
He thought I was somebody else. And then he's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, I'm Lonzo. And he goes, You look like Lonzo of Nazareth.
RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC part solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce.
Have you seen Sami Zayn's tweet about the Waffle House?
I have not.
Push play on that and prepare yourself to laugh. You can turn the volume up on the side if you want to.
Check us out at RepairClinic.com.
You got to listen to it and watch it. It's worth it.
Technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK. Why wait to save? Dell Technologies Black Friday event arrives early with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to.
He mentioned the Waffle House. Jay broke and started smiling. Sami leaned to it and goes, yeah, they love the Waffle House. And Sami tweeted it out with the quote, the healing process has begun.
By the way, there's also proof for what we were saying, why they didn't show Solo.
Did he crack too?
You didn't see him?
I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
Solo just, he can't take it.
Feeling pretty oozy on the show today, ladies and gentlemen. Are you feeling oozy, Lonzo?
No, I'm not.
Feeling oozy
I'm
at
not.
all.
I'm not feeling oozy. I was.
All right. Let me get to this take from Jesse Vergara, who popped up in the Facebook stream.
Wow, the take's so big it like covers us
Covers
up.
me up.
Covers us up.
Yeah, I know. It covers us up.
Yeah, you said me, DJ.
Jesse said, I love how society makes excuses about justifying childish celebrations when he was caught in the moment. These players of this generation celebrate everything. I would be surprised if these guys have a celebration dance for getting out of bed. Look at me. I make millions of dollars and have no accountability for my actions. These new generation players are so soft, end quote. Let me respond to that if you don't mind, Jesse Vergara.
I wish you would have spelled soft, SAWFT.
WFT. Soft. Jesse, let me give you the millennial take, since that's who you're pointing these guns at, metaphorically speaking. When we talk about going out on Sunday to meet up at the bar, we are going to watch the game, right? We're going to watch the game. It's supposed to be fun. If a wide receiver is putting up 150 yards in a football game, he did a good job at his job, which is playing a game. A highly emotional, highly competitive event. It's a game. Zoe and I have finished shows before that are really good. And we laugh and cut up after it's over. Zoe, you have very frequently described this job as fun, right? Our job's fun. Most of the time, our job's fun. There are aspects and elements of it that are a job, that are work. But this part of the job is fun. And Lonzo and I have fun when we do it most of the time, right? It is okay to have fun when you do your job if you have a fun job. If you are fortunate to have a job that is fun, have fun, right? Have fun. If you're a bartender, a very stressful job, and somebody orders $100 worth of drinks and then drops you a $75 tip on top of it, of course you're going to celebrate that, right? Heck yeah. I did my job. I got rewarded for it. If you are a postal worker and you're delivering a letter and a golden retriever comes out and jumps in your truck to say hello, your job is now fun. Would you expect them to be like, get this dog off my truck so I can go back to work? No, right? Yes, it's fun. They have fun at their job. I got no problem with it. As Lonzo has pointed out correctly, the only problem with the DJ celebration is that he did the one celebration that is very explicitly against the rule, which is you can't take your helmet off in the field of play, right? The fun part about that is if DJ walks 9 more yards and leaves the field of play, this isn't a thing. There's no penalty. Panero hits that XP. The Panthers win the football game, right? That's the only difference. About 9 yards of walking from DJ. If DJ does the same thing, but he's walking to the sideline, right? If he's on a jog to the sideline and he gets 3, 4, 5, 6 feet from the sideline and takes his helmet off, they're not calling that. It's the same thing. It's just because he stayed in the end zone. These players aren't soft. I got news for most of you. The majority of players in the 60s and 70s, the generation that you guys love to describe as manly football, most of those guys could not play in today's league. DK Metcalf would have been the baddest dude in the game if he played in the 60s and 70s. He'd have played linebacker and would have smoked most of the guys that you love, right? The athletes today are bigger, stronger, faster, better than they have ever been in the NFL at any point in history. They are not soft. Look at DK's abs and describe those as soft for me, please. Right? They're not soft. They just recognize that this whole thing of like, it's a very serious game and you should never celebrate is dumb. It's a game. You should have fun. When the Eagles wide receivers do the in-sync bye-bye-bye dance in the end zone, it's hilarious and I love it because it's fun. It's a game. Now, if your team's 0-8, or I don't know, so let's make up a number, 2-6, and in last place in the division.
Well, they were 2-5 at the moment.
At the moment, now they're 2-6.
Yeah, now they're 2-6. Yeah.
Do I necessarily want to see fun social media posts this week? Probably not, because we want them focused on doing the job. Because the job can and should be fun when you're doing it well, right?
Yeah, like leaving your helmet on.
Yeah.
That's part of doing your job. You can celebrate, you can dance, you can spin on that helmet while it's on your head. Although I think that's excessive. I'm not sure.
Spin on the helmet
while it's on.
Oh, you mean like upside down?
Yeah, like breakdancing. Yeah,
okay.
I think like from that one movie. Remember that one old movie that had Tom Cruise in it? Anyway, so I don't know if you're allowed to do that or not, but if you are, that's fine. Just leave your helmet. One thing you're not allowed to do, you're not allowed to take your helmet off.
I get it. I'm not arguing. What DJ did was dumb. It was a dumb move. But to like rip an entire generation of players about it, I don't know about all that, dude. DJ Moore in the 70s would have been the greatest wide receiver of all time. Right?
No, because you weren't allowed to celebrate then and he wouldn't know what to do. You had to hand the ball to the referee and walk back.
Forgive the next generation for enjoying things. How terrible of them.
I can't forgive someone for putting himself above the team and costing a game and a season. Trade him. We got a couple hours. Do it.
Hey, the Views from Mid Street podcast is going to drop in a few hours. That should be entertaining. Make sure you liked and subscribe to the Views from Mid Street podcast wherever major podcasts are found. And make sure you stick around for hour 3 of the Rob Brown Show. It is next right here on the Fan Upstate. Well, let's go confuse some people in the back.
This update is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility and great pay and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. After last night's 27-17 loss in Buffalo, the Packers are 3-5, their worst 8-game start with Aaron Rodgers at QB.
I don't feel any added pressure. I like them on me. I enjoy the pressure, enjoy the opportunities to throw the ball down the field. And hopefully we can get some opportunities next week that these guys help you.
Rodgers threw for just 203 yards with a touchdown and 1 pick last night. The game began without receivers Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, then rookie Christian Watson.
Come on, Caputer. Let's go.
Allen's numbers not that much better. 218 yards, 2 scores, 2 picks, but his team now on a 4-game win streak. Michigan State linebacker Tank Brown, safety Angelo Gross, defensive end Zion Young, and corner Kari Crump suspended indefinitely for their roles in the altercations in the tunnel after Saturday's loss at Michigan. And the Lakers might have gotten their first win of the season last night, 121-110 over the Nuggets, but don't miss Zion posting 21 points in the Pelicans' 112-91 win over the Clippers. I'm Andrew Bogut.
Hey, it's Amy Lawrence. Be sure to listen to CBS Sports Radio at home. Ask Alexa to play CBS Sports Radio. CBS Sports Radio.
This view was worth the hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Kevin Allen here from Monday Night Football and Westwood One. We have AFC North action coming up with the Browns hosting the Bengals. Joe Burrow and Cincinnati have won 2 straight and are posting big offensive numbers. Now they face the league's #1 rusher in the Browns, Nick Chubb. Join Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner and me for
Should have did a Halloween overlay. Have to remedy that next year, or for Thanksgiving and for Christmas.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe.
We need a each holiday that we're actually working, we need an overlay that. So if we would have had a Halloween overlay, I think it would have been kind of cool.
Oh, I
Yeah.
should have made that.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
I got this one saved so I can adjust it. That's a good call. It's a really good call. So what do we have next? Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was a mistake, but I think it'd be okay, I guess.
Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid that can cause heartburn, so you can enjoy the holidays.
Is Vince on right now or Tara?
Vince.
Somebody just called him Squidward. What?
This fall, there are updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect.
Maybe he was talking about SpongeBob. Did they say you are
They said,
Squidward?
Squidward, I hope your interest isn't going to be sharing smooth jazz. I got nothing.
He is into smooth jazz. So I
Everybody's
mean,
into smooth
yeah,
jazz.
you should be. It's because it's smooth.
You guys can pull off the Young Bucks look if you wore some nose rings that connect to earrings. You know what? I just realized.
I hope those are clip-ons.
We would make a very interesting tag team right now.
I just wouldn't talk. I would just grunt the whole time.
You know what we are? You know what we are? We would be a like 80s version of Big Cass and Enzo. I talk, get it handed to me for 6 minutes, tag you in to win.
Now I can't not see that because you're right.
Somebody just called me Diesel on the text line.
I hope that was like an accident and not, I mean, you know, a crack.
You're an official Rob Brown lockdown. Manufactured locally for the Carolinas. This is the Rob Brown Show.
You know, I've noticed one thing.
I can't stop.
You can't leave your hair alone.
Can't.
You cannot leave it alone.
It's so loud. How do you not just sit here and fiddle with your hair the whole show?
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do it that way.
Oh, man. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now this. Here's the fan upstate. John Ale just checked in and said, want to talk about doing their job. The only one that should be punished is Carolina's kicker. That's his job. The only thing he practices is kicking. The only thing he's responsible for is putting that pigskin through the uprights wherever it's positioned on the field. 48 yards is not a gimme, all right? It's not a gimme. It's like a 10-foot putt. Like, you probably should knock it down, but it's not a gimme. The overtime field goal, though, you got to have that, dude. The snap was good. The hold was good. He just pushed it. That's just all there was to it.
See, here's the problem. The whole time he's thinking is, man, we should be off this field. I shouldn't be here. Why didn't DJ leave his helmet on? And it was in his head, and he just couldn't believe that someone would be so selfish and not think about his team that he couldn't get in the right headspace that he needed to be in to make the kick. So, I mean, again, it goes back to leaving your helmet on. Is it his fault for missing the kick? Oh, yeah, it is. But it's DJ's fault for putting him in a position where he's not known as a long-range kicker. And this is the backup kicker because our kicker got hurt.
Yep, Zane Gonzalez went down, got banged up, which sucks.
Gonzalez would have nailed the long field goal. It would have been, and then no one would have, well, some of us would still be complaining about helmets still being on, but the game would have been won.
All right, let's get to some other stuff on the show today. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the Tennessee Volunteer offense, Alonzo, is quite good. It is quite good. Tennessee beat Kentucky 44-6. And we've talked about their offense, which should be talked about. Hendon Hooker, 19 of 25, 245, 3. That's good numbers. Tennessee rushed the ball for 177 yards on the day. Not a single rusher, including Hendon Hooker, had negative yardage for the Volunteers. Through the airs, Jalen Hyatt had 138 yards and 2 touchdowns on 5 catches. But defensively, this Tennessee team played the game of their lives against Kentucky. They held Will Levis. Yes, a guy who is being considered as a top 3 pick in the NFL draft, to 16 of 27 for 98 yards and 3 interceptions on the day. And what's the result of this? Besides the fact that the Volunteers are big-time winners, are top 3, Hendon Hooker is now the Las Vegas consensus betting favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. Hooker moved ahead of C.J. Stroud in the Heisman odds over the weekend and is not only a favorite now, he is an even money favorite. Even money. He is the first player this year, as far as I can recall, to be even money to win the Heisman. C.J. Stroud is the second choice at plus 180. Michigan running back Blake Corum and USC quarterback Caleb Williams are both 12-1. No Tennessee player has ever won the Heisman Trophy, and if Vegas is right, Hendon Hooker's about to change that. This kid is a different breed of cat, my man. Hendon Hooker is ridiculous right now. If you have not watched him, go grab the highlights from that and go enjoy that, because it was something else, my man. Something else. Number 1, Florida puts away or gets put away by Georgia 42-20. Georgia remains at number 1. Tennessee is now right ahead of Ohio State in the AP poll. The top 2 teams in the country are both from the SEC. They are both from the SEC East. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Tennessee. Here's what's interesting, Lonzo. In the overall votes, scratch that. In the overall points, Ohio State and Tennessee are tied. Both of them received 1,500 exactly points from the AP voters. Tennessee has the slight nod because they have 3 more first place votes. Tennessee has 18. Ohio State has 15. Every single first place vote, all 63 of them, currently belong to the top 3 teams, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ohio State. Ohio State, of course, this weekend was able to put away Penn State 44-31. CJ Stroud, 26 of 33, 354, and a touch. Travion Henderson, 16 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mayan Williams, 2 carries, 9 yards, and a touch. Marvin Harrison Jr., Lonzo, can you tell me about this kid? 10 grabs, 185 yards.
Has the potential to be better than his dad. And, some people, oh, no, you can't. I mean, when you say that about the child of someone who was so good, dude is good. He really is good. And he's had to pick up the slack from Njigba being hurt. So he's getting more targets, but he's catching everything. He looks really, really nice. It's a shame they struggled with Penn State early, and I knew when they did that they would probably lose a spot or so, but they're still in the top 4. And the other thing is, the game wasn't as close in the second half as it looks like.
No,
they gave up a touchdown at the end of the fourth quarter to make it look closer than what it was.
What Penn State had you by, I believe, a point at halftime. You guys ended the third quarter up 2 points because you knocked through a field goal. That was the only scoring in the third quarter. And then you put up 28 in the fourth quarter alone. Ohio State finished this game.
It was Kansas City-ish how they did it. Yeah.
Third quarter was just wide freaking open, dude. Did give up 17 to Penn State. But I think at that point, the defense was exhausted. Penn State was doing everything. Sean Clifford, 32 of 47, 371, 3 touches, but also 3 picks. And that was part of it too, right? Turnovers in this game. Caused by Ohio State. That was it. That was the difference. Takeaways. Ohio State's defense created the takeaways. Penn State's did not. That was it. As much as we want to talk about 44 from the offense, and we should, so the defense of Ohio State won this game. And the reason that I would be happy if I had a vote to give that first place to Ohio State is because while Tennessee's defense had a good game against Kentucky, Ohio State's defense has been good pretty much every single game.
Yeah, having a new defensive coordinator and a different mindset. The last couple of years, the defense has been a little iffy, and that has cost the Buckeyes. And being a great offensive team and then having a bad day and having a defense to pick you up the way they did, that's a full team effort right there.
Yeah, it was. I think Ohio State is very good offensively. I think Tennessee's offense might be slight. When I say slightly, I mean the slightest of slightly's better than Ohio State's. But Ohio State's defense it's on point, dude. It's just on point. Created some turnovers. Got some extra chance opportunities for the offense, which they cashed in. And Ohio State puts away a top 10 team. My thought, was at the AP poll this morning would be Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Tennessee 3, but Tennessee would have closed the gap a little bit. Michigan 4, Clemson 5, Alabama 6. I was very close. Ohio State lost the gap to Tennessee, except not really, because again, 1,500 points level both directions. One voter changing their vote either direction would have had a clear-cut number 2 and a clear-cut number 3. But Ohio State's offense, especially in that fourth quarter, combined with what their defense was able to do in creating 3 takeaways and giving CJ Stroud the ball back to go finish the game, and the fact that they did. Lonzo, a good team is in a dogfight that one team wins this game by a field goal. A great team finishes the damn game, and Ohio State did just that. The Buckeyes are my 2. The Vols are my 3. Michigan is my 4. Clemson sticks right there at 5. There is 60, I don't know, some amount of points between Michigan and Clemson. It is not a ridiculous difference between those two teams. 66 points of difference between Michigan and Clemson. And then you got about a 60-point fall off from Clemson to Alabama. There's more difference between Michigan and Clemson 4-5, or excuse me, more difference between 5 Clemson down to 7-1 Alabama 6 than there is between Clemson and a playoff spot at number 4. Clemson was off this week, which makes sense that they kind of hang but don't make up any ground, obviously. Michigan, on the other hand, continues to do Michigan things. I mean, they're doing what they do. You are excited right now if you're Clemson because somebody is going to win between Ohio State and Michigan. Michigan, by the way,
just be careful in the tunnel.
Careful in the tunnel.
Yeah, you got to be
What the hell
careful
was
in the
that?
tunnel.
Jim Harbaugh says that after the game was over, a couple of his players were, his word, not mine, assaulted in the tunnel.
There's video. I don't know if that's the real video, but I've seen video.
I've seen the video, and it's not good. It's not good. There is 1 or 2 Michigan players, and there's like 10 or 11 Michigan State players who were like shoving him around. They shove him into a door at one point before he's able to escape and get ushered out, and the cops have to get involved. Michigan State has now suspended 4 football players for their involvement in that altercation. Tank Brown, Kerry Crum, Angelo Gross, and Zion Young have been suspended after reviewing what Tucker called, quote, disturbing electronic evidence, end quote, of the incident. You know, videotape. That thing, Lonzo, where we saw what happened. And it's a bad look. By the way, you think Michigan State is regretting that fat contract to Mel Tucker right now?
They're not that good.
They're not that good. Mel Tucker got a contract from Michigan State in the range of $95 million for 10 years. Dude is getting an average of $9.5 million moving forward. It's insane. Tucker will make a base of 5.9 mil, an additional 3.1 for media appearances paid in monthly installments, $100,000 annually from a Nike deal, a $500,000 retention bonus. He is going to get $9.5 million per season, guaranteed, as long as he remains the head coach. If the university decides to fire Tucker for cause, it will owe him his entire non-performance related salary. That is $9.5 million per year. Hey, when's that contract expire? Do you know? I do. 2032.
Show me the door, brother.
What did Ed say?
Show me the door.
For that much money, you can just show me the door. I'll head on to Destin. I'll crack open a Cobo with the boys. I drink down on the beach. I got plenty of money. If they don't want to pay me the money to be the coach of the LSU Tigers, then I'll head on down to Destin out of Louisiana, and I'll be perfectly happy. Go Tigers.
That voice works perfectly with that outfit on.
Tucker has 9 years left on the deal. If they fired him right now, he would be set to make about $85.5 million. And I was giving all that crap to Jimbo last week. Mel Tucker is right there in the same boat. And I mean, I guess the only difference is that Mel Tucker, did not convince his fan base, an actual cult, that he is the second coming of football Jesus, right? But my goodness, I do remember when Mel Tucker, after his couple of good runs with Sparty, I remember when Mel Tucker was being listed as a potential for a lot of big jobs, right? In fact, there were folks at Michigan that were ready to move on from Harborough and bring Mel Tucker over, right? Let's show them who little brother is. Let's take their coach. I kind of wish that would have happened, though. It'd have been the funniest damn thing in college football in recent memory. Anyway, Sparty's bad. Mel Tucker's getting killed. And they can't fire him because it's too much money. It's too expensive. Speaking of coaches who make too much money on bad teams, Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Jimbo lost again. He got Lane Kiffined. How about the fighting Lane Kiffins putting Texas A&M down 28-31? Connor Weidman, 28 of 44, 338, 4 touchdowns. A solid day through the air. They also had a $138 on the ground from Devin Akani. A $138 on the ground. 338 through the air. And they lost the game. Why they lose the game? Because on the ground for Ole Miss, Quinshon Judkins had 34 carries, Lonzo, for 205 yards.
It's not a bad day.
Not a bad day at the office.
It's all right if you can do that in, one day.
They also had Jackson Dart, 17 carries for 95 yards. That's a quarterback, y'all. 95 yards on top of his 140 and 3 touches through the air. Ole Miss just ran A&M into the ground, dude. Just ran him into the ground. And then Lane decided to go ahead and just troll Jimbo afterwards. Because why not? What the hell, Texas A&M? And what do you got? What are you doing? I tried to tell you, Jimbo Fisher's a fraud. But he's got a national championship, Rob. No. Jameis got a national championship. Jimbo just happened to be in the building when it happened. Yes, Lonzo.
Who's the better coach, Jimbo or Urban?
Freaking Urban Meyer is a better coach than Jimbo Fisher.
All right, I'll just check.
Who's a better person? Nick Saban. It's just bad. I did love that Lane was coming to the defense of Nick Saban, right? He trolled Jimbo because Jimbo had the audacity to step up to Nick. Lane was like, don't worry, coach. I got him. All right, text. Rob, Marcus Satterfield has got to go now. His play calling was awful against Mizzou. He kept trying to run McDowell, who's too small to break tackles, and all his runs were for negative yardage. Why didn't Satterfield use a fullback to lead block for the running backs when Mizzou's defensive line kept getting penetration and blowing up the backfield? The guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing and cannot call plays to the strength of his offense. He could have put Bell, who hasn't had enough touches, in as an RB option to help them. I'd like to thank me for texting the show.
What if you found out that that Spencer Rattler audibled into all of those?
then Marcus Satterfield should be fired for allowing that to happen and keeping Spence on the field.
Maybe he doesn't have a choice. I'm not trying to defend him.
No, you're good. In fact, I'm glad you said that. Grab me clip 2A one more time if you don't mind. I'm glad you said that. I don't want to do a whole other segment on South Carolina. We already did that. But I'll bring this point back up one more time. Here's clip 2A. I don't even tell you the question. It's in there. Here's clip 2A.
There was a stretch, I think it was in the late third quarter, you guys went a little screen heavy. Is that just sort of trying to counter the pressures that they were kind of throwing at you? And when those weren't working, was that them kind of guessing?
They weren't screens. I think we called one or two screens that popped out of there. A couple of them were runs that were RPO type plays where we should have kicked the ball out of there. We ran a screen to Juju to start the 2 minute. We ran a couple true screens on the perimeter to I think it was Juice or Leggett one. They were bringing some pressure and thought they were good calls. And then a lot of the balls that were out there on the perimeter were some runs that Spencer just didn't hand it off and threw it out there to the receivers. It's hard to say just without watching the tape. I'll let you know tomorrow on the teleconference. We didn't, thought we did okay blocking it for the most part. And, but I'll have to look at it.
They were RPOs where Spencer didn't hand it off and threw it out to the flat, a screen. Here's my question. An RPO is not limited to the screen, right? And if the screen's not working and Spencer is just going to repeatedly pull it and throw it instead of, putting the R in RPO and just make it a PO, then why not change the RPO you're running, right? Why would you keep running an RPO where the delivery option is a screen if the screen's not working and Spencer won't throw the ball? You do one of two things. You either go, hey, Spence, let the running back take the ball sometimes, right? Like, it is not an effective RPO if there's never an R and never an O and it's always a P.
See, this is the problem. I think there is a mentality when some people latch onto this is the problem, and then everyone piles on and said, yeah, this is the problem. When I watched the game, and I watched it this morning, Spencer Rattler was the problem for me, not the play calling. And all I kept thinking was, and the fact that they didn't look like they were ready to play. They just thought they were going to stroll in there and win the game. And that's not what happened. I'm talking about the Gamecocks. But Spencer Rattler looks confused. He looks uncertain. As someone pointed out earlier, he holds the ball too long. He absolutely does. There are a lot of things that I think could be solved if you went to Luke Doty.
I think you're on the right path. I don't disagree with you. I think that, look, if this is all being caused because Rattler's just not that good, I hope it's recognized now. I'm interested to see. I got to listen to the post-game presser. I have not heard yesterday's telepresser yet. I'll be listening to that later. And then Beamer will have some media time today when Emily Adams comes on Wednesday. I'm interested to hear, is there any verbal clue from Spence or from Shane that Spence might spend some time on the bench moving forward, that Luke might get a shot to come back in and do the damn thing? We'll find out. Texas says if Spencer eliminates the R and just uses PO, he is going to PO his fans. That's good. That's well put together and correct, by the way. Texter says this is the first time in Rattler's whole life he's actually played against real defenses. He can't handle it. End quote.
That could be the case. He struggled against non-real defenses. So why would he do better against real ones?
It's fair.
He got benched for a reason.
That's right. He did. The Gamecocks are seeing it now. The experiment is over. It is Doty time. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. Rob and Lonzo and a Barbarian and you on the Fan Upstate.
Juicy.
Right back stream. Got to do a read. Do not go nowhere. Do not go nowhere. It's a double negative. Don't go anywhere. Emma is back. I just pushed play while I was standing in there on accident because I had it glued. And Rhonda was finishing up her promo. She was like, who's it? And I'm like, well, let me see who comes out. And Emma came out.
I had seen something about that, and I got to be honest, I don't remember Emma that much. So,
Remember when they tried to do the Evolution and it failed miserably? That was amazing. Oh, you know I'm letting this banger roll for a second, right?
maybe we'll get some complaints on the text line about it.
Hit in the mash. It was a monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. I mean, a banger, right? Like, I know it's one of those songs that by the end of Halloween, we're all over it. You know what this is? It is the All I Want for Christmas Is You of Halloween, right? It pops up about a month out, and then it's just everywhere for a month and a half, and then it's just gone for 11.
Maybe if you didn't listen to Christmas music, I'm not talking about you, if people didn't start listening to Christmas music in October, maybe you wouldn't get tired of songs by the time December rolls around.
I am frankly quite tired of the Halloween disrespect. Halloween is just so disrespected as a holiday, right? A day where you can just do and be whatever you want with no consequences to it, to some degree. And and people just get,
I think you got this confused with Mardi Gras.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yesterday, Lady Friend and I went out, watched the Saints game. I had to go pick up the last piece to the Zoe outfit for today. And we walked into a couple of different stores. Like, we had some other stuff we needed to do, some shopping we needed to get done. And every store I went into was just full of Christmas stuff. I'm like, dude, it's October. Stop. Can we get, like, you know, the Thanksgiving disrespect is bad enough. But I'm like, all right, it's a month. I get it. We all love Christmas. Christmas is great.
Well, most people know about the possible turkey shortage, and they've already bought the turkey, so might as well move on to Christmas. We went shopping Sunday morning like we normally do to get our groceries, and the Christmas stuff was out, and my wife wanted to go look at it. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Dude, it's October.
I did mention to her, you know, it's got Thanksgiving to go.
I got told, I got told the person who Christmas shops in October's point of view, because the lady friend was like, you don't understand. She's like, I am not buying Christmas stuff now because I'm just so excited that it's Christmas time, right? She's like, I'm buying Christmas stuff now because if I don't get the cute stuff now, it's going to be gone in a month when I'm ready to put up Christmas stuff, right? She's like, so if you want if you want the cute Christmas stuff, you got to get it now. Because if you don't get it now and you wait until November, it's going to be gone. She's like, so I'll get it now and then I'll put it away and I'll get it back out in a month when Thanksgiving's over.
Cute Christmas stuff. Does that mean like decorations and things?
Yeah,
or
like Christmas decorations
all right,
and stuff.
all right.
That like here, I'll give you an example. We were at TJ Maxx. I don't know, one of those stores the other day, right? I was looking for I needed a new pair of jeans. So we rolled out to get some new jeans. I needed a new pair of jeans. We went to get some new jeans. We go to the store and all our Christmas stuff's out. And I picked up the stuff I need. And I do shopping like a dude, right? Lonzo, if I go into the store and I need a pair of jeans, I'm going to the jeans. I'm picking the jeans. I'm leaving with the jeans.
Yeah.
Right?
Shopping's not, I mean, I'm there to buy. I'm not there to shop.
I go into the store. No way. Grocery shopping for me with anybody except myself is a nightmare. Because it's like, I got my list. I need these 7 things. I know where they are in the store. I hit them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm at the register. I'm gone. And then there's the other style, which is like, I'm going to hit every aisle. You never know where you're going to find a deal. I'm like, right. You know what the best deal is? I keep all the money that I don't need to spend on stuff.
Yeah, I'm also a list guy. I look at my list. I know where everything is. If I'm going by myself, boom, I'm in and out because other people, we'll call them wife, has a tendency to linger, not on purpose, to the point where everyone is in that last aisle getting ready to head up. And you can see everyone in the frozen aisle and they're getting ready to head up to the register and she finds something that she has to go back for. Then we get caught up with all those people. And I'm like, I'm watching the tendencies. I'm seeing how many people are in that last aisle. I know what I need to do. I need to hit the bread and get over there before that mass exodus. And a lot of times we get caught in it.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, why can't you hurry up?
Yeah.
Don't you see them? They're all getting ready to go up there.
And like you can't, because it's even if you hate it, like it's a thing you're doing together. Because I made the mistake one time when I went grocery shopping with the lady friend of being like, all right, you got our list, right? Let's do it this way. Why don't you give me the list? I'll go get everything on the list. And then while I'm getting everything on the list, you go wander the aisles the way you want to. And then we'll meet back up at the front, right? I'll pay for the groceries. I'll get them in the car. And when you're done, I'll just wait I would rather wait in the car than shop up and down every single aisle. And then but I thought we were doing this together. Aren't we grocery shopping together? Like, okay.
I need to address the stream really quick and go, yes, boy.
So we hit the store yesterday. So all I needed was this. All I'm looking for. I just needed round glasses.
Which are really hard to find.
They're really hard to find. Surprisingly hard to find.
Yeah.
Surprisingly hard to
To
find.
the point where if I see them, I just go
grab
ahead
as
and
many as I got?
just go ahead and buy them. Yes.
Needed to find the round glasses to finish off the zone. Because if I don't have the round glasses on, I'm just a 1980s professional wrestler. With the round glasses and the fan upstate hat, I'm Lonzo. All right. And so I go to find the round. We go to one shop, and like the entire back half of the store is only Christmas stuff. And this is when she tells me, she's like, I don't want a Christmas shop now, but I have to, because if we don't get this stuff now, all the cute stuff's going to be gone. I'm like, right, but like, shouldn't we talk to those people and tell them to stop too? I'm not mad at the stores. Like, everybody's like, why are these stores putting out Christmas stuff? Because people buy it, dude. It's real simple, because people buy it. If y'all would stop Christmas shopping in July, we could celebrate Thanksgiving properly for the first time. Please and thank you. Had another texter earlier who said, in a change of pace, but not really. Had a texter earlier who said that they saw a fan. They saw a couple who were doing a trunk or treat over the weekend, who brought multiple costume changes for their baby, right? They're like, is that too much?
All right. Now she's a pumpkin.
Right. Now she's a ladybug. Now she's a bumblebee.
Now she's Winnie the Pooh.
Right. Is it too much? I don't care what you do with your kid. As long as you have the reality and the ability to admit that you're doing it for you. You are using your baby as an accessory at that point. I am guilty of multiple costume changes on Halloween. I'll probably do it today, right? That's fine. As long as you will admit that you are using your baby as a prop, then I'm good with it, right? Whatever. It's your baby. If you want to use it as that baby basically is part of your costume at that point, right? You have made that baby part of your costume of, I'm a great mom, I'm a great dad, look at my baby and how cute she is or he is. Long as you admit that, whatever. It's Halloween. It's for kids.
Just dress your baby up as Grogu. You win.
I mean, whatever. You dress up as whatever. As long as you admit that it's part of your costume, right? It's that simple.
Or see, there's also this thing that that you haven't got to experience. Some parents like to dress their kids as things embarrassing. So when they get older, they can bring those pictures out and embarrass their teenage kids in front of their friends.
Are you speaking from experience?
Oh no, I fought against that stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I thought it's no. He does not need to wear that. No. Yes. And I didn't always win, but yeah, I fought against that.
I mean,
stuff.
listen, I get that because I think and I'm not one, so I can't speak from experience, but like I'm at the age where the majority of my friends are having kids and now it's on purpose, right? I've been told that like one of the major benefits of becoming a parent and having your kid grow up is how much fun you can have embarrassing them, right? Like it's fun to embarrass them to some degree. Like have at, I don't care. I'm just saying, just admit that the kid's part of your costume. It's not your baby's Halloween costume. That's your costume. It's just an accessory of it is your baby now. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's clean up some of these texts that have come through over the course of the show. Texter says, watching Marcus Satterfield's offense is like watching paint dry. Very, very, very boring. There is a reason his nickname is Screen Pass Sat. You know, I don't have a problem with the screen, but the screen only works if there are other threats.
You ever heard that nickname before? I haven't.
Like, I think one time, and
Okay.
I can't say it wasn't from the same person.
I'm
texting
not
the show.
saying you didn't make it up, but I think you made it up. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
text.
no, I figured.
Yeah.
Texter said, Bears can score, but forgot how to play defense. Yeah, they did. The Cowboys ran all over them, dude. Texter said, want to thank DJ Moore for the celebration and Panero for the missed kicks. An ugly win is still a win. Go Falcons. Texter said, Bills, Josh Allen in Green Bay. There was a lot of chippiness. The pack was angry. Diggs burned that bleep. Stephon Diggs is a machine, dude. Machine.
And the Packers, man, talking about saying, hey, we have no receivers. Having Aaron Rodgers hand the ball off that many times, that's saying we have no receivers.
Well, Lazard was out hurt. Actually, their top two receivers were both out hurt. They were up against it. Texas says, I had to check on the YouTube stream real quick just to see, and I feel like I'm seeing double vision. LOL. That's from Mike the Parts Man. Mike, appreciate it, buddy. It's my Lonzo costume. Nailed it. Everybody thinks so except Lonzo. I think it's just the bleach blonde hair, right? Is that it? That I'm bleach blonde?
Yeah, if you went with the dirty blonde, that'd be all right with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's just my hair hasn't been that color since I was like 7.
All right. Texter says Rattler has underperformed all year, but this past weekend didn't have the defense and special teams play to bail him out. It's time for a change. It's Doty time. That's like the 4th time we've heard that today. Carolina fans making themselves hurt. Texter, JT and Greer, Marcus Satterfield's offense is terrible. Predictable bubble screen, vertical route, or big set run. JT and Greer. I didn't have a problem with the big set run. You're a run first team now. Just don't use your smallest back and do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And finally, fan, even OBJ's conceited ass wouldn't do what DJ did. Yeesh. All right, got a few more texts. We'll hit them and then Twitter our way out of here on the Rob Brown Show. Rob, Lonzo, you. It's the fan upstate. There's a difference, Stephen, between Christmas present shopping, which I do all year long, versus shopping for your date. Like, are you buying Christmas decor in October? Like, you see the decorations and you're just like, oh, it's Christmas time. I need that.
Well, I mean,
Santa Claus
if you see a little thing like, okay, those are going to be gone pretty soon. Let me just go. You buy it. You don't put it up yet, though. I think it's okay if you buy it and you don't put it up. Like there was some cool stuff we saw Sunday, which I guess was yesterday. And we didn't buy them. And I kept telling her, I was like, go ahead and buy it because it won't be here in a week or two. So I kind of get that, as long as you're not going right home and putting it up, because it's not time to do that. The day after Thanksgiving is acceptable. I don't want to act like an arbiter. There's only one of those on this station. But, you know, the day after Thanksgiving, I think, Black Friday is acceptable, and it's a good excuse for the dude that doesn't want to go shopping on Black Friday. Hey, got to get all the Christmas stuff out.
For all your printing needs this holiday, Staples has you covered. I need custom printed holiday cards for my one-of-a-kind business. Staples has you covered. It's beginning to look a lot like I need custom party invites. Fast. I need cards for
Hate to be whiny, but I still wonder what it would be like if I just wasn't available.
personalized holiday cards and invites. And now save 40% on custom holiday cards and invitations. For everything go to Staples, the working and learning store. In-store, online, and 12/17 exclusions.
Bad.
Your job recession-proof? Now might be the perfect time to switch careers and become an IT professional with My Computer Career.
I was offered a day off like last week or something because of all the extra work I've been doing, and I didn't take it. I'm still not going to. But I am considering it.
You're fantasy booking your future.
Yeah, well,
There's Vicks Vapor Rub. Vicks Vapor Rub sends powerful medicated Vicks vapor right to the source of your, so you can experience cough relief.
so aside from the one break that I had to add a promo
Yeah.
in the middle of a stop
It's
set,
worked.
it's worked.
So next time you have a cough, reach for the Vicks Vapor Rub. Vicks Vapor Rub.
Yay. I'll solve another problem. Yeah, me. So should have warned this when I get rid of the beard. It's just nothing but neck. Can't do anything about it. I blame bridging. My neck got big from bridging in wrestling, and it never went the other way.
What is bridging?
You don't know how to bridge? You get on the top of your head.
Yeah.
It's basically like it with no hands.
Okay.
And then
You
you
hold yourself up.
back and forth. You also spin onto your back while on your head, and it strengthens your neck so that if someone puts you on your back, they have a hard time pinning you.
Gotcha.
And then you go, I don't need no neck roll. I'm good.
Cowboy collar.
773 Network. That's AmericanEagle.com. 773 Network. Repeat after me.
I'm trying to remember. We had a guy who had to have a neck roll. He was a running back too. Can't remember his
It's always
name.
either running backs or linebackers.
I'm getting a loud sound, so I'm gonna talk louder. What can I help you with today? Oh yeah, Progressive can do that. Oh, there's that noise again. Hold on, let me put you on speaker.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms.
This afternoon, mostly cloudy with showers with a high of 64.
Weather brought to you by One Thing. Cut out six-pack rings and reduce your use of plastic to help keep it out of our waterways and oceans. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow.
All right, time for a Halloween edition of Twitter Trending Topics. Doesn't mean anything on it's Halloween except for it's Halloween, so it's a Halloween edition of Twitter Trending Topics. If you understood that, you're my people. The first thing that's trending is Twitter verification.
Yeah, with Elon's new Twitter, there's a lot of people who are having struggles with it. But I don't know exactly.
I like
why
watching
it's
Rob
trending.
just instantly mad when I say
I'm not mad about it
Twitter.
at all. I
I
told
wanted
you
to
last
see
week,
what Mad Lonzo looks like
I'm
without looking in the mirror.
I'm genuinely interested in watching this development because it's a really interesting psychological experience. Like I was looking yesterday, last week.
I haven't seen any difference.
I haven't either.
yeah.
And that's but like
Other than celebrities are bailing, supposedly.
yeah, they're not.
Yeah. They say they are. I mean, there's a couple.
There are two really interesting things that have happened. Number one, there's a lot of people who a week ago were like, Twitter needs to do this and let politicians be able to do that and that and that. Elon takes over and Elon's like, yo, this is what we're going to do. And they're like, see, Twitter's a private company. They should be able to do whatever they want. It's like, you didn't feel that way a week ago. But there's also the inverse, right? Where people have been banned from Twitter. And a lot of people on one side of the aisle were like, well, it's Twitter. They can do whatever they want. They can ban whoever the hell they want. And now that Elon's letting stuff go, they also feel differently. Like, oh, now, they got an iron hand here. And it's like, you were good with that a week ago, right? Like what happened?
Here's what I think Elon's doing, other than firing the couple people he fired. I think he's doing nothing and just watching everybody talk about all these things that are being done.
Here's the other part of it. Elon last week, after the whole thing with Pelosi happened, Elon amplified some conspiracy theories, some unfounded conspiracy theories, and cited a source that is a pretty well-known conspiracy rag in the past. And people are like, whoa. Like, if you're going to demand proof and accuracy, like you should be the lead guy there and you're not doing it. It's a really interesting social experiment to see people get very worked up on Twitter, Lonzo, and then walk out into the real world and just not care.
I wish I was rich enough to buy a company just to troll people, because that's what I think he did. Here's the reason why he's trending is this is a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed that Twitter verification will soon cost you $20 a month. And again, it's everywhere. And I don't believe it till I see it.
I'm the same way. I don't believe it till I see it, but I would not be shocked to see it happen because Elon has already stated that he's going to basically turn Twitter into a money-making, profit-seeking endeavor. I will say one thing that I do think you're going to see change is the way that advertisements are presented on Twitter, right? I think he's already said he wants to make it the world's largest advertising platform. Could I see it becoming a subscription service? Maybe, right? A blue check mark is very valuable, right? It is. It shouldn't be, but it is. And that, like, when I'm searching for college football takes, like, one of the first thing I do is when I see big college football breaking news is I want to go see if the blue check marks are reported, because you cannot do parody on a blue check mark. You can make jokes, but you can't do parody. And so it can be valuable for somebody like, I don't know, for somebody like Ed Warder or Adam Schefter. A blue check mark would probably be very worth $20 a month. For somebody like me, probably not, right? So it's interesting.
All right. Diddy is trending.
Diddy. Well, I don't know when the next time Diddy's going to sit in and sub-host on the show, but I'm glad he's trending.
He's on Sundays on
He is. He's on with Diesel on the Carolina Kickoff Show, which airs 2 hours before every Panthers game.
All right. The reason the other Diddy is
I'm assuming we're talking about P. Diddy.
The other Diddy is trending because he was in a Joker costume and got into a verbal altercation, as it said, with the guy who starred in Power, who was not wearing a costume.
I really wanted the end of that sentence to be with another dude who was in costume as Batman.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been fantastic. That's it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We are out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Those of you on the stream, we appreciate it. Those of you listening in the radio, by the way, we got another addition to the Armada. Guy texted earlier and said that he said, well, I lost the text, but he said he listens every day. Every day listen when I'm driving for pods. The Panthers kicker is a hack. He did the same thing when he was with the Bears. Well, good thing we have a Views from Mid Street podcast dropping here in just a couple of hours where we'll talk all about it. Happy Halloween, everybody. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Less Lonzo-y for me, more Lonzo-y for Lonzo on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, stream, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Have a great